Chapter 314. Departure 3. Oh, don't keep me in suspense this time, Lung Ruoxue warned. Her hands danced in the air, making hand seals, and unlocked another seal of the Heaven and Earth bracelet. After another seal of the Heaven and Earth bracelet was unlocked, the spiritual energy in the space became denser, and the area expanded nearly twice in size. Moreover, 3 new pieces of land appeared. I have new land, Qingju shouted happily. Big bro Qingju, this is great. We can plant more things now. The little black dog jumped up and down happily. 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down Lung Ruoxue's forehead as she grumbled in her heart. These 2 farming maniacs are actually more enthusiastic about seeing land than seeing me. Big sister, my new ability this time is the ability to transform into your weapon. Qingju took the initiative to speak before Lung Ruoxue could ask and immediately disappeared after speaking. Transform into my weapon? This isn't bad, Lung Ruoxue murmured to herself. Haha, Shuer, you're finally out. Lung Qingtian and the others, who felt the change in space, all came to the purple bamboo house. Grandpa, when did you come out of seclusion? Lung Ruoxue asked curiously. Old Lin and I have been out for almost a month. Ruhan and the others were a little later, Lung Qingtian explained with a smile. Grandpa, should we advance now? Lung Ruoxue asked. Shuer, wait, we don't need to rush our advancement. The Dragon Emperor wants to see you. He's staying in the General's mansion now, Lung Qingtian said with a troubled expression. The Dragon Emperor? Long Hao, why does he want to see me? Lung Ruoxue's beautiful eyes were full of question marks. I don't know. Long Hao refused to tell us. He insists on seeing you, Lung Qingtian said helplessly. These days, these old men had been asking around about the purpose of these dragons' visit. But these dragons' mouths were actually more tightly shut than a clam's shell. They couldn't pry them open at all. Then he'll go see him. Lung Ruoxue sighed. After exiting the Heaven and Earth bracelet, Lung Ruoxue and Freak went directly to the Dragon Emperor. Lung Ruoxue found Long Hao lying in a chair and basking in the sun in the garden and asked directly, Dragon Emperor, why are you looking for me? Miss Long, our dragon clan wants to recognize you as our master, Long Hao said with a smile. That's it? Lung Ruoxue was stunned. If that was all, why did the dragon clan have to be so mysterious? Yes. Long Hao nodded. Alas, it also feels pretty good to be in human form. After coming to the human world, the divine beasts of the dragon clan had transformed into human form to live these few days. Otherwise, this small general's mansion really wouldn't be able to accommodate them. Then why didn't you say anything when my grandfather asked? Lung Ruoxue really couldn't understand what these dragons were thinking. We were afraid that you would refuse, so we wanted to talk to you face to face, Long Hao said shyly. You're right. I have enough beasts now, so I don't intend to take in any for now, Lung Ruoxue said honestly. As for whether she would take them in the future, she didn't know either. Can't you make an exception once? On the account that we had a deal before? Long Hao said weakly. He also knew that they were in the wrong in the previous deal, but he had to worm his way into getting close to her. Our dragon clan is very strong. We will definitely be your greatest help in the future, Long Hao added. Long Hao, although I don't intend to take in any beast for the time being, my relatives and subordinates can take you in. So your clan members can acknowledge them as their masters if they're willing, Lung Ruoxue reminded kindly. In fact, she knew very well why the dragon clan wanted to recognize her as their master, so letting them recognize her relatives and subordinates as their masters was also considered doing what they needed. I need to discuss this with the elders, Long Hao said awkwardly. No problem. Discuss slowly. But I want to remind you that we're going to leave the Lingfeng continent soon. With that, Lung Ruoxue pulled Freak away. Shuer, will the dragon clan agree? Freak asked curiously. Yes. Otherwise, they wouldn't have come all the way here, Lung Ruoxue said understandingly. There were probably no dragons remaining on Dragon Island now. Where are we going? The 2 of them had already walked out of the general's mansion while they spoke. I'm going to advance, Lung Ruoxue said with a smile. She walked to a spacious open space and summoned Quill. Quill, I want to go somewhere to advance, Lung Ruoxue said directly to Quill. Yes, master. Quill flapped his wings, jumped into the air, and slowly became a small black that disappeared into the sky. Quill brought Long Ruashue and Freak to an uninhabited valley. Long Ruashue jumped down from Quill's back and released her beasts. Then she sat cross-legged on a boulder and waited for the heaven and earth laws to descend. After a while, the heaven and earth laws arrived as expected. Long Ruashue absorbed the spiritual energy bestowed upon her by the heaven and earth laws to her heart's content. After the heaven and earth laws slowly dissipated, a thought flashed through Long Ruaksha's mind. Leave the Ling Feng continent 3 days later. So soon? Long Ruashue didn't expect to leave so soon after advancing to spiritual deity. After her advancement, Long Ruashue and Freak immediately returned to the general's mansion and told everyone about this. We're leaving in 3 days. If you have anything to settle, do it quickly, Lung Qingtian reminded. After discussing, these old men decided that they would advance in another dimension. I can leave any time. Me too. Fengde, go to the Prosperity Pavilion and tell Big Brother Wang and the others that it will belong to them from now on, Lung Ruashue suddenly said to Fengde. After the opening of the Prosperity Pavilion, she hadn't really cared much about it. Fortunately, Su Xing wasn't aware of the relationship between her and the Prosperity Pavilion, so it was able to escape disaster. Yes, Mississippi. Do you want me to visit the Hurricane Mercenary Group and ask them to take care of it? Fengde suggested. Chapter 315. Departure 4. Go ahead. Take this to Big Brother Ju while you're there. Lung Ruashue took out 2 accumulation elixirs and handed them to Fengde. Okay. Fengde replied and left the general's mansion. After arranging everything and informing the dragons, Lung Ruashue and the others waited quietly for the moment of departure. 3 days later, Grandpa, Lung Ruashue called softly while looking at Lung Qingtian standing in the garden. Only her grandfather was still outside. Shuer, let me take one last look, Lung Qingtian said nostalgically. After leaving today, he probably wouldn't have the chance to return. Okay, Lung Ruashue replied. Shuer, send me into the space, Lung Qingtian said after a long while. Lung Ruashue nodded and sent Lung Qingtian into the bracelet, leaving her alone in the garden. A moment later, a golden beam of light descended from the sky and enveloped Lung Ruashue. After a few minutes, the beam of light disappeared, and the garden was empty. When the warm golden light disappeared, Lung Ruashue slowly opened her beautiful eyes and observed her surroundings. This place is very barren. There was no sign of human habitation, and all she could see were barren land, overgrown weeds, and endless mountain ranges. Lung Ruashue was dumbfounded. This place is the upper realm? She was very doubtful. Did the golden light bring me to the wrong place? Did it mess with me? Otherwise, why would it leave me here in this place without a single trace of humans? I can't even find anyone to ask for directions. With a thought, Lung Ruashue moved Freak, her grandfather, and the others out of the bracelet. Shuer, are we here already? Lung Qingtian was a little confused when he emerged, especially when he saw the desolate wilderness. Where is this place? Why is it so? Old man was stunned and speechless. Shuer, don't be scared. I will protect you, Freak said with incomparable affection as he hugged Lung Ruaksha's slender waist, his eyes full of allure. Which eye of yours saw that I was afraid? Am the one protecting you if there's any protection needed. This place is so remote. If you meet a bad person who takes a liking to your beauty, you will be in danger, Lung Ruashue teased Freak. Yes, that's right. You have to protect me, Freak said cooperatively. Okay, don't worry. Old man, what do you know about this world? Lung Ruashue turned to ask old man little girl. To be honest, I don't know much about this world. Moreover, I've already told you everything I know. Oh right, I also know that your Lung family seniors have a very high status in this world. Old man explained simply. Ruashue, let's leave this place. There probably won't be anyone in these barren mountains, Lin Liang suggested. He didn't expect the beam of light to leave Lung Ruashue in such a desolate place. They were unfamiliar with the place and people here, so they were unsure of what to do. Grandpa, do you want to advance first? Lung Ruoxue asked after some thought. This was a good place to advance, where they wouldn't be disturbed. Lung Qingtian and the others looked at each other and nodded. Okay, lass, I don't want to advance with you. I want to break through by myself, old Zhao said stubbornly. Ruoxue, we're not in a hurry either, Feng Jing and the Feng family's first elder said at the same time. Okay, Grandpa, old man, Grandpa Lin, advance first. Lung Ruoxue nodded and released the dragons who were going to contract with the three of them. After hearing her proposal, the Dragon Clan had been hesitant, but they immediately agreed after knowing that Lung Ruoxue and the others were about to leave the Ling Feng continent. But the Dragon Clan had a condition. They requested to choose their masters themselves, so Lung Ruoxue sent them all into the bracelet to let the dragons cultivate feelings with her grandfather and the others. After a short period of interaction, most dragons had already found their masters, and the first elder of the Dragon Clan had decided to contract with her grandfather. Long Hao chose her elder brother. Okay, the three old men let out their beasts, contracted with the dragons, and began to break through with all their might. About 2 hours later, 3 streams of heaven and earth laws descended one by one. After a while, the heaven and earth laws slowly dissipated, and the three of them officially advanced to spiritual deity. The three old men's beasts, especially the dragons, advanced separately after receiving the benefits of their master's advancement. Long Sheng, what level are you now? Lung Ruoxue looked curiously at the first elder of the Dragon Clan, who had transformed into his original form. Little Master, I am a level 6 divine beast now, Long Sheng said respectfully. Level 6 divine beast? Lung Ruoxue was confused. Isn't it transcendent divine beast above divine beast? Why is there still level 6 divine beast? Little Master, it's like this. The divine beasts on the Ling Feng continent can actually only be considered level 1 divine beasts. They are limited by the laws of the Ling Feng continent, so they are unable to advance after advancing to divine beast. However, the level of this dimension is higher than that of the Ling Feng continent, so our strength can continue to increase in this dimension. I am now a level 6 divine beast, and the divine beast stage is divided into 9 levels. Above divine beast is transcendent divine beast, which is also divided into 9 levels, Long Sheng explained. This information was obtained from his inherited memory just now. Oh, Lung Ruoxue nodded. She didn't expect the division of divine beasts to be so detailed. Fengzhan, Charm, can you advance? Lung Ruoxue sent a voice transmission to her beasts. Master, I can. Fengzhan was first to reply. He had been a divine beast for a long time and had already accumulated enough spiritual power in his body. Advancing a few levels would definitely not be a problem. Master, me too, Charm replied. Master, I can also advance, White Dawn echoed. Master, Lung Ruoxue didn't expect that most of her beasts would be able to advance. This was definitely good news for her. Chapter 316. Entering Boundless Heaven 1. With a thought, Lung Ruoxue released all the beasts that could advance. After they emerged, they immediately transformed into their true forms and found spots to prepare for advancement. After a while, streams of heaven and earth laws descended non-stop in the barren mountain range, creating a dazzling sight. Only after a few hours did the aftershocks of the advancement gradually disperse. The beasts remained on the spot with their eyes closed to regulate their breathing. The advancement of the beasts naturally brought incomparably tremendous benefits to Lung Ruoxue. Now, the spiritual power in her body was already showing signs of liquefying. Ruoxue, the advancement of your beasts is really too spectacular, Lin Liang said in amazement. Although it wasn't the first time he had seen such a scene, he felt incomparably shocked every time he saw it. Haha, Grandpa Lin, it will also be like this when you contract more beasts, Lung Ruoxue said happily. Forget it. I don't have abnormal mental strength like you, Lin Liang said with slight jealousy. Even though the higher the level, the stronger the strength, and the more beasts people could contract, no one could contract beasts infinitely like Lung Ruoxue because their mental strength was limited. If they exceeded the limit of their mental strength, not only would they be unable to contract with any beasts, they would also suffer a backlash and become fools. Grandpa Lin, then quickly increase your strength. If you are stronger, there will naturally be many beasts you can contract, Lung Ruoxue comforted. Yes, strength is really too important. Lin Liang sighed. Beloved master, guess what level your darling is now? Darling, who had already consolidated his cultivation, jumped into Long Ruoxue's arms in his transformed form and said coquettishly, Boo-hoo, beloved master, you haven't hugged me for so long. I miss being hugged so much. Long Ruoxue raised the small and cute purple fox in her arms and said very seriously, Level 2 divine beast? No, beloved master, you look down on Darling too much. Boo-hoo! Darling complained aggrievedly with tears welling up in his beautiful silver eyes. Don't cry. I'm just joking with you. I know that you're now a level 3 divine beast. Long Ruoxue coaxed, her forehead full of black lines. She might not be able to see the levels of other divine beasts now, but she was still clear about the strength of her beasts. But what surprised her was that White Dawn had actually advanced to Transcendent Divine Beast. Okay. Darling nodded in satisfaction and rubbed against Long Ruoxue's beautiful face. Master. Charm also transformed, jumped onto Long Ruoxue's shoulder, and lay down after consolidating his cultivation. Charm, not bad. Long Ruoxue praised while caressing Charm's snow-white fur gently. Charm was already a level 5 divine beast. Master, there's still me. A small fiery red bird flew to Long Ruoxue's other shoulder. Master, I'm the strongest now apart from that cat, Feng Zhan said proudly. You damn bird. How dare you call me a cat? I'll pluck all your fur out and turn you into a bald bird. White Dawn roared furiously. Master, I was threatened by the feline. Feng Zhan's little wings pointed at the white tiger as he glared at him in complaint. Don't call me a feline. White Dawn hollered. Stop arguing, Lung Ruoxue said helplessly. Alas, those old men bicker all day, and my beasts quarrel often as well. She was really helpless. Master, I request to duel with this damn bird, White Dawn said through gritted teeth. Humph. Master doesn't allow her beasts to fight, but I can always take the proper route. I refuse. You're stronger than me. This is very unfair to me, Feng Zhan said indifferently. Stop it, both of you, Lung Ruoxue warned. Yes. The two aggressive beasts immediately became well-behaved. Grandpa, let's leave this place. Lung Ruoxue turned to her grandfather. Okay, let's go. Lung Qingtian nodded. The most important thing now was to find a place with people and ask about the situation here. Lung Ruoxue sent most of the beasts into the bracelet, leaving Charm, Feng Zhan, and Quill out. Which way should we go? Lung Ruoxue asked with a headache as she looked at the winding mountain roads. Although their current location was uninhabited, there were too many forked roads in the mountains that they were unable to figure out. Let's go south, Lung Qingtian said as he looked at the terrain. Okay, Quill, bring us south, Lung Ruoxue ordered. Yes, master. Come up. Quill flew into the air and enlarged his body. After Lung Ruoxue and the others sat on Quill's back, Quill flew them toward the south. After flying for a day, they didn't find a single person. Moreover, they still didn't leave the mountain range. Why is this mountain range so big? Old Zao grumbled. However, no one paid any attention to him. Master, there are sounds of fighting not far ahead, Quill suddenly said. Let's go take a look, Lung Ruoxue said without hesitation. It really wasn't easy. They finally found some people. Carrying Lung Ruoxue and the others, Quill flew toward the location of the fight. After arriving at the spot, everyone jumped off Quill's back and watched the battle not far away. On one side of the fight was an ugly spirit beast with a body like a small mountain. On the other side were a middle-aged man and a youth of 15 or 16 years old. Both of them were spiritualists. The middle-aged man was a spiritual supremacy while the youth was a spiritual sovereign. As for the ugly beast, Lung Ruoxue carefully searched for information about it in her mind. It was an earth alligator. Moreover, it was a level 1 divine beast. Earth alligators were beasts that excelled at defense. Chapter 317. Entering Boundless Heaven 2. Leave this place quickly. It's dangerous. The middle-aged man had already discovered Long Ruoxue and the others and hurriedly shouted anxiously. "Ha! So many delicacies have come knocking on my door. Don't even think about leaving today." The earth alligator laughed arrogantly, its already ugly head looking even uglier. "What is this? It's so ugly." Long Ruoxue said disdainfully, her beautiful eyes full of provocation. "You're the ugly one." The earth alligator roared furiously. "Freak, it said I'm ugly." Long Ruoxue complained coquettishly. "It's okay, Schwer. I don't mind." Freak teased with a light smile on his lips. Long Ruoxue nodded with satisfaction and deliberately said loudly, "Okay, what should we do with this big guy? Although this thing is ugly, I heard that its meat is quite delicious." Freak's shiny black eyes sized up the earth alligator. "Damn humans, I won't let you go. You're dead." The earth alligator roared. It was so angry. These two damn ugly monsters actually discussed how to deal with it in front of it and said that they wanted to eat its meat. Humph. It would let these two humans know who would be eating whom. With a frightened face, Long Ruoxue snuggled up to Freak. "Freak, we're being threatened. I'm so scared." "Don't be afraid. I will protect you," Freak said domineeringly. Seeing Long Ruoxue and the others ignoring him, the middle-aged man shouted again, "Hurry up and run. Leave this place. None of you can run away. I'll deal with them after I kill you," the earth alligator said confidently to the middle-aged man. It quickly raised its giant tail, bringing forth gusts of wind that hit the middle-aged man like knives. "This ugly thing is quite powerful," Long Ruoxue said coldly. "Quill, go teach it a lesson," Long Ruoxue ordered. If she didn't do anything, the people she finally found with great difficulty would die. "Yes, master." Quill jumped into the air and flew above the earth alligator. His huge eagle claws directly pressed on the earth alligator's head. With a crack, his sharp claws instantly sliced through its head. The mountain-like earth alligator didn't have the slightest ability to resist and died. The middle-aged man and the youth looked at the scene in front of them in astonishment, dumbfounded. This black eagle is really too fierce and terrifying." They were speechless for a long time. When they returned to their senses, Quill had already skinned and cleaned up the mountain-like earth alligator. "Thank you for saving us." The middle-aged man led the youth to Long Ruoxue and the others and bowed respectfully in gratitude. "It's nothing. Don't take it to heart," Long Ruoxue said lightly. "This earth alligator—" Long Ruoxue looked at the earth alligator again but was interrupted by the middle-aged man before she could say anything. "Of course this earth alligator belongs to you," the middle-aged man said tactfully. Although these people were spiritual sovereigns on the surface, they had to be from a big family to have such a powerful eagle. Moreover, these people were his saviors. Even if they were not, he would definitely not be able to afford to provoke them. He knew his limits. "They'll take the skin and spirit crystal of the earth alligator. We'll share half the meat," Long Ruoxue said generously. Although she had saved them, she also needed their help, so she wouldn't be stingy when it was time to be generous. Thank you, Mississippi." The middle-aged man was stunned, but he quickly reacted and didn't decline, his face full of gratitude. "Miss, I might be weak, but please feel free to tell me if there's anything you need my help with," the middle-aged man continued. He really didn't expect that not only did he keep his life, but he could also obtain half of the earth alligator's meat. Although half of the earth alligator meat wasn't much compared to the value of the entire earth alligator, it was a considerable windfall for him, enough for his family to eat for half a year. "I do have something to ask you," Long Ruoxue said indifferently. "Please ask away, miss," the middle-aged man said very respectfully. "I want to know where we are and what's the situation here," Long Ruoxue asked bluntly. "Miss isn't from the Boundless Heaven continent, right?" the middle-aged man said in realization.
No.
Long Ruoxue didn't intend to hide it. "Miss, our continent is called the Boundless Heaven continent. We are currently in the northernmost region of the Prayer Mountain Range in the Boundless Heaven continent. There is little rain all year round here, and the weather is hot. Therefore, this can be considered the poorest and most barren region of the Boundless Heaven continent. Moreover, The population here is very small. The middle-aged man explained simply. Where is the nearest town? Long Ruoxue asked. Miss, to be honest, there are mountains everywhere here, and it will take at least 10 days to reach the nearest town. Miss, my family lives in the village at the foot of the mountain. If you don't mind, please come to my house to rest first. They'll tell you in detail, the middle-aged man suggested. Okay, take us to your house. Long Ruoxue nodded in agreement after some thought. Seeing Long Ruoxue and the others sitting on the black eagle's back, the middle-aged man hesitated. Miss, come up and lead the way for Quill, Long Ruoxue said.
Yes.
The middle-aged man stored half of the earth alligator meat in his ring and then carefully sat on Quill's back with his son. Don't be nervous. Quill won't throw you down. Long Ruoxue saw the father and son's scared expressions and comforted them. Okay. The middle-aged man nodded. Alas, there was no way he couldn't be nervous. The blow that this black eagle used to kill the earth alligator had pierced too deeply into his heart. He was afraid just thinking about it. Chapter 318. Entering Boundless Heaven 3. Under the middle-aged man's guidance, Quill quickly arrived at the small village at the foot of the mountain. It was a small village with only a dozen households. Long Ruoxue and the others' arrival attracted almost everyone in the village. Dozens of eyes were looking at them curiously, but no one dared to approach. Stop surrounding us. They are my esteemed guests. Don't scare them, the middle-aged man said. After hearing what the middle-aged man said, the surrounding villagers immediately left. Hee, please don't mind. We rarely have outsiders here, the middle-aged man said apologetically. It's all right, Long Ruoxue said nonchalantly with a light smile. Although it didn't feel good to be watched as a rare animal, she could see that the villagers were very simple, so she didn't care much. In addition, she found that those villagers were actually spiritualists. What was going on? Her heart was full of question marks. The middle-aged man led Long Ruoxue and the others to a small yard and said slightly embarrassedly, Everyone, this is my home. I hope you don't mind. It doesn't matter. We often camp in the wilderness, Long Ruoxue said indifferently while looking at the middle-aged man's home. This house was very simple. There was only a stone table and a few stone benches in the yard, and not a single piece of decent furniture in the house. Please have a seat here. The middle-aged man pointed at the stone benches. Okay. Long Ruoxue and the others followed the host's arrangements and found a place to sit in the yard. The middle-aged man turned to his son. Minger, quickly go make some food for our esteemed guests. There's no need to trouble yourselves. Tell us in detail about the situation here. Long Ruoxue said. Okay. The middle-aged man sat down beside them and then introduced the basic situation of the Boundless Heaven continent to them. After about 2 hours, Long Ruoxue and the others finally had a basic understanding of this continent. This Boundless Heaven continent was vast, approximately twice the size of the Lingfeng continent. There were no countries on the continent. It was all cities. But the 3 largest cities on the continent had always been controlled by the 3 great families for many years. The 3 great families were mainly the Long family, the Lan family, and the Sun family. These 3 families were fully deserving of being the hegemons on the Boundless Heaven continent. Their power and status were so great that others could only look up to them. Moreover, the people on this continent were born with the ability to cultivate spiritual power and become spiritualists. However, the spiritualists in this world could only be considered ordinary people. If they wanted to stand out and be respected on the continent, they had to become mystics. Mystics were the most honorable profession on the continent, but the chance of becoming a mystic was only 1 in 10,000. Miss Long, I have a map of the Boundless Heaven continent here for you. After the middle-aged man finished explaining, he went to his room to take a slightly yellowed map and handed it to Long Ruoxue. Thank you. Long Ruoxue took the map and stored it directly in her ring. This map was currently what she needed the most. Big Brother Wu, how can I become a mystic? Long Ruoxue asked. Hee, Miss Long, if you want to become a mystic, you have to go to the Mystic Association. There will be specialists there to guide you. But converting your spiritual power into mystic power isn't easy, the middle-aged man, Wu Kai reminded. Is there a mystic association in the nearest town? Lung Ruoxue continued asking. Yes, but the mystic association there is very small. If you want to convert your spiritual power, I suggest you go to a larger branch. That way, the success rate will be higher, Wu Kai reminded. It's okay. We're just going to take a look. Big Brother Wu, we won't disturb you anymore. Goodbye. Lung Ruoxue prepared to leave after getting what she wanted to know. Okay. May we see each other again, Wu Kai said politely. Okay. Lung Ruoxue and the others nodded, sat on Quill's back, and flew toward the nearest town. Quill was very fast. Lung Ruoxue and the others arrived at their destination, Windless City, in just 3 days. Windless City wasn't big, but it was connected to the 3 main cities. It belonged to the Sun family of the 3 great families, and the city lord of Windless City was from one of the affiliated families of the Sun family. Outside the city gate, Lung Ruoxue and the others jumped off Quill's back and were about to enter the city on foot when the soldiers guarding the city gate stopped them. Please pay the entrance fee. 50 amethyst coins per person, one of the soldiers said coldly. Lung Ruoxue and the others were stunned. It was really too despicable to charge 50 amethyst coins for the entrance fee of such a small city. One had to know that the common currencies of the boundless heaven continent were amethyst coins and purple gold coins. The exchange rate between amethyst coins and purple gold coins was 101. There were 8 of them in total, and if each person had to pay 50 amethyst coins, then they would need 400 amethyst coins, equivalent to 4 purple gold coins. Lung Ruoxue had always thought that she wasn't in need of money, but she would probably become poor soon with this way of spending money. Here, Lung Ruoxue resigned herself to paying. She took out 400 amethyst coins and handed them to the soldiers guarding the gate. Alas, we're new here. Boo-hoo. After entering the city, Lung Ruoxue and the others were surprised to find that the city was quite bustling despite being small. The streets were rather busy and crowded as people came and went. Lass, when we're stronger in the future, we can build a city and be the city lord to play. We'll charge everyone 100 amethyst coins for entering the city, Old Zao said emotionally. This money was really too easy to earn. Do you think it's so easy to be a city lord? Old Man said disdainfully. TCH, I didn't say I wanted to be the city lord. I just want to collect money, Old Zao said nonchalantly. Then you can just be a city guard. What's city lord? Old Man argued. You, stop arguing. We're about to reach the Mystic Association. Don't let others laugh at you, Lung Ruoxue said helplessly. Chapter 319. Entering Boundless Heaven, 4. Okay. The 2 old men obediently shut their mouths and stopped talking. According to the location marked on the map, Lung Ruoxue and the others found the Mystic Association smoothly. They opened the door and walked in. Lung Ruoxue walked directly to the front desk and said to the receptionist inside, I want to convert spiritual power. The receptionist, who was fiddling with her nails, looked up and asked arrogantly, Are all of you going to convert your spiritual power? No, only the 5 of us want to convert, Lung Ruoxue said lightly. Lung Ruoxue and the others didn't hide their strength because the minimum requirement for spiritual power conversion was to be a spiritual deity. 100 purple gold coins per person, the receptionist said and then lowered her head to repair her nails. What? 100 purple gold coins? Are you robbing us? Old Zao couldn't help exclaiming. What? You don't have money? How dare you come for spiritual power conversion without money? Not just anyone can be a mystic, the receptionist said with a face full of mockery and disdain. This is 500 purple gold coins. Lung Ruoxue took out 500 purple gold coins and threw them in front of the receptionist. Fortunately, she had the foresight to go to the bank to exchange amethyst coins for purple gold coins before coming to the Mystic Association. Otherwise, they would be looked down upon by this snobbish woman. The receptionist was stunned. She didn't expect this unbelievably beautiful girl could really afford 500 purple gold coins. This wasn't a small sum. What? Is there not enough money? Lung Ruoxue said lightly while looking at the stunned receptionist. It's enough, the receptionist said awkwardly after returning to her senses. Lung Ruoxue glanced at the receptionist and asked coldly, "Then can we convert our spiritual power now?" "Okay, fill out this form." The receptionist took out a few forms from a drawer and handed them to Lung Ruoxue. "Grandpa, here you go." Lung Ruoxue distributed the forms to Long Qingtian and the others. After filling in the forms, Lung Ruoxue and the others returned them to the receptionist. "Come with me," the receptionist said uncomfortably and led Lung Ruoxue and the others to the second floor. After they arrived on the second floor, the receptionist knocked on the door of one of the rooms. "President, some people wants to convert spiritual power," the receptionist said respectfully through the door. "Invite them in." A man's voice sounded from behind the door. "Please head in," the receptionist said to Lung Ruoxue and the others before turning to leave. Lung Ruoxue and the others pushed the door open and walked straight in. In the room, a man was sitting in a chair and looking at them with a smile on his lips. The man was about 20 years old. He was handsome, refined, noble, and very friendly. "Welcome, everyone. It's been a long time since so many people came to our branch to convert spiritual power," the man said with a friendly smile. "How can ordinary people afford it when it costs so much money? Of course there would be no one." Old Zao seemed to be muttering to himself, but his voice was so loud that everyone could hear him. "Our prices are all set by the Mystic Association. If you really have any difficulties, you can pay in installments after the conversion is successful," the young man explained very nicely. "There's such a thing? What if the conversion fails?" Old Zao asked curiously. "If the conversion fails, and you really can't afford to pay, you can settle this sum of money as long as you work for our Mystic Association for 2 years, the young man said. "Oh, then why did your receptionist say that we can't convert if we don't have money?" "She also said that not just anyone can become a mystic," Old Zao asked curiously, his face full of the words, humbly asking for advice and shamelessly asking. I think she didn't explain it clearly," the young man said awkwardly, but he had already decided the fate of the receptionist in his mind. "I am Lan Ming, the president of Winless City's Mystic Association. I will be the one to guide you in the spiritual power conversion." Lan Ming changed the topic. "Your Excellency Lan Ming, please explain the method of converting spiritual power and the things to take note of," Lung Qingtian said. "Okay. Spiritual power conversion is an important turning point for becoming a mystic. After successful conversion, you will become a respected mystic. The ranks of mystics are divided into 6 levels: mystic, elementary mystic, great mystic, mystic monarch, mystic sovereign, and mystic supremacy. The color of the mystic power of mystics is light yellow, yellow for elementary mystics, light green for great mystics, green for mystic monarchs, light purple for mystic sovereigns, and purple for mystic supremacies. The mystic power attributes are the same as the spiritual power attributes of spiritualists. In addition, the conversion of spiritual power to mystic power will be very painful, so you have to persevere and not give up halfway. Otherwise, the conversion will fail. I have been at the Mystic Association for many years and have seen many people who failed because they couldn't make it through the last hurdle. I really hope that each of you can succeed. So please remember my words," Lan Ming said very sincerely. "Thank you. We will remember," Lung Ruoxue said. "This is the incantation for spiritual power conversion. Please remember it." Lan Ming handed each of them a card that resembled a magnetic card. Lung Ruoxue and the others took the cards and memorized the incantation on it. After your conversion succeeds, these cards will also become proof of your identity as mystics in the future. So please take good care of them, Lan Ming reminded. "Okay." Lung Ruoxue and the others nodded. "Now, they'll bring you to the conversion room." Lan Ming stood up. Lung Ruoxue and the others followed Lan Ming to a large sealed room. This room was very spacious, and it was divided into several small rooms. "Choose a room each and then enter for your conversion," Lan Ming said. Lung Ruoxue and the others nodded, and then each entered a small room. After entering the small room, Lung Ruoxue was surprised to find that the spiritual energy in the room was very dense. The walls of the room were embedded with crystals for spiritual energy gathering. The room was not big, with only a small table and a sitting mat. Chapter 320. The Four Evils of Windless City. 1. Lung Ruashue sat cross-legged on the sitting mat, chanted the incantation in her head, and began to convert the spiritual power in her body. How long does it take to convert? Half an hour later, old Zao, who was waiting in the big room, couldn't help asking. It varies from person to person. The longer the conversion time, the higher the aptitude, and the greater the future achievements, Lan Ming explained very patiently. How long is the fastest time? Old Zao asked. At least an hour, Lan Ming answered. Oh. Old Zao stopped talking and closed his eyes to pretend to be asleep. But 3 hours later, none of the 5 people who had entered came out. Say, President, it's been 3 hours. Why aren't they out yet? Old Zao asked worriedly. This proves that their aptitudes are very good, Lan Ming said calmly. Taking longer than 3 hours for the conversion was enough to prove that their aptitudes were in the upper middle range. If they could succeed, such talents would basically be specially nurtured by their family. Another 3 hours later, a stream of heaven and earth laws finally descended. This is the damn old man's room, old Zao murmured. Seems like he succeeded, Lan Ming said in surprise. It actually took 6 hours, and it was a success. It was really incredible. Basically, those who succeeded in their conversion after more than 5 hours had top-notch aptitudes. It's just blind luck, old Zao said disdainfully. 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down Lan Ming's forehead. Was there such blind luck? In that case, probably everyone would want to be blind. After a while, old man emerged from the small room, feeling refreshed. Not bad. Congratulations on becoming a mystic, Lan Ming said to old man. Thank you, President Lan. Old man replied politely. You can now drip your blood on your card for it to recognize you as its master. Your identity will then be recorded on it. At the same time, you will also become a member of our Mystic Association, Lan Ming explained. What benefits are there for joining the Mystic Association? Old man asked very pragmatically after binding the card with his blood. The businesses of our Mystic Association are spread all over the entire Boundless Heaven continent. As members of the Mystic Association, we enjoy the first right to purchase and the lowest discount. The higher your strength and status, the larger the discount you'll enjoy, Lan Ming said with a light smile. Even though this old man's question was very realistic, he admired his straightforwardness. We still have to spend money? We don't have money, old man said with a bitter face. Lan Ming was speechless. He had never heard of any mystic lacking money. With your aptitudes, after becoming mystics, your family will definitely do their best to nurture you. So you don't have to worry about money at all, Lan Ming continued to console. We don't belong to any family. Old man sighed. That's okay. When you become mystics, many families will want to win you over, Lan Ming said helplessly. But he couldn't help wondering if this old man was doing it on purpose. In fact, he was right. Old man was doing it on purpose. While old man was chatting with Lan Ming, another stream of heaven and earth laws descended. Hee, Brat Lin has also become a mystic, old man said happily. Before long, another stream of heaven and earth laws descended again, and Lung Qingtian also became a mystic. Lan Ming was a little speechless. Seeing the streams of heaven and earth laws descending one after another, he couldn't help muttering in his head, when did becoming a mystic become so easy? Moreover, what's even more unbelievable is that their aptitudes are getting better and better. Lin Liang and Lung Qingtian walked out of the small room at almost the same time. After they came out, Lan Ming repeated the same words to the two of them. After that, he sat quietly by the side and waited because there were still 2 people who hadn't come out of the small room. Moreover, he was very curious to know if the last 2 people could also become mystics. Time slowly passed. Another 4 hours passed, but there was still no movement from Lung Ruashue and Yichan. Gradually, Lan Ming lost his composure. The spiritual power conversion of the top geniuses on the Boundless Heaven continent only took 8 hours. But 10 hours had passed, and there was nothing from the 2 people in the small room. A day passed, but Lung Ruashue and Yichan had yet to emerge. Lan Ming was sitting in a chair in the big room and looking at the few old men sleeping soundly not far away. He felt a little speechless. Why aren't they worried at all? Instead, Am the one guarding here motionlessly. What's going on? Are the two of them not out yet? Old Zao, who just woke up, asked with some confusion in his eyes. Not yet, Lan Ming replied lightly. Oh, they'll continue sleeping then. Old Zao lay on the ground and even started snoring. 2 days passed. 3 days passed. On the 4th day, the heaven and earth laws that hadn't appeared for a long time finally descended once again. Seems like Brat Yi has converted successfully as well, Old Man said in realization. In fact, he was already prepared for their success. After all of them had taken the little girl's remolding pills. Moreover, they had also eaten so many spirit fruits. If they failed, what would that make them? They could just become pigs. After a short while, Yichen walked out of the small room. Grandpa, isn't Shuer out yet? Yichen looked around but didn't see Shuer at all. He felt a little disappointed. Not yet. Don't worry. Long Qingtian comforted. Alas, I wouldn't have come out so early if I knew that Shuer hadn't come out yet, Yichen muttered in his head. When Lan Ming saw Yichen walk out of the small room, he didn't say a word because he was utterly shocked. He had always thought that his aptitude was good, but compared to these monsters, he knew that his aptitude was nothing to be proud of. Chapter 321. The Four Evils of Windless City, 2, in the small room. At this moment, Long Ruoxue had reached the final moment of the spiritual power conversion. Through her divine sense, she could clearly see the silver-white mystic power source in her dantian becoming clearer and more condensed. The mystic power source was a silver-white sphere of light that formed from the conversion of spiritual power. When you converted all your spiritual power to mystic power, your mystic power source would also become more and more condensed. This was also the only place to store mystic power. The greater the mystic power source, the more mystic power stored. The spiritual power in her body was abnormally dense because of the heaven-defying art, so it took her longer to convert all this spiritual power into mystic power. Moreover, converting spiritual power into mystic power would cause some pain, and this pain intensified as time passed. Enduring the intense pain, she finally converted the last bit of spiritual power in her body into mystic power. She released her beast from the bracelet before the heaven and earth laws descended, and the transformed beasts instantly crowded the entire small room. Then the heaven and earth laws that enabled her to become a mystic descended. After the heaven and earth laws dissipated, Long Ruoxue quickly sent the beasts back into the bracelet, while she continued to stay in the small room to consolidate her cultivation. After becoming a mystic, Long Ruoxue realized that she needed more heaven and earth spiritual energy. When she was a spiritualist, the ratio of spiritual energy she absorbed to spiritual power was 1-to-1. But after becoming a mystic, the ratio of absorbed spiritual energy to mystic power was 10-to-1. In the other words, no matter how much spiritual energy she absorbed when she was a spiritualist, she could transform 100% of it into spiritual power. But after becoming a mystic, she could only transform the same spiritual energy to 10% of mystic power. After consolidating her cultivation, Long Ruoxue stopped cultivating, stood up, and left the small room. Shuer, you're finally out. Boo-hoo! Freak immediately rushed forward and hugged Long Ruoxue tightly the moment she walked out. Freak, what's wrong with you? Long Ruoxue's face was full of question marks. Isn't his reaction a little too big? I missed you so much. Boo-hoo! Freak choked. He hadn't seen Shuer for 5 days. He missed her so much. So much. I missed you too. Be good. Don't cry. Long Ruoxue coaxed helplessly. Alas, he's becoming more and more clingy. You're finally out. Lan Ming walked to Long Ruoxue. Was I in there for a long time? Long Ruoxue's face was full of doubts. It's been 5 days. Lan Ming sighed, with the word monster written on his handsome face. Oh, President Lan, is everything okay now? Long Ruoxue said lightly. Your card needs a drop of your blood to recognize you as its master, Lan Ming quickly said. Long Ruoxue's indifferent reaction was really a little unexpected. President Lan, does the association provide mystic skills for mystics? Long Ruoxue asked. Both spiritualists and mystics had their own specialized skills. After becoming a mystic, spiritual skills were still usable, but they were not as powerful as mystic skills. Moreover, mystic skills were also divided into elementary, intermediate, advanced, earth grade, and heavenly. So she guessed that the Mystic Association would at least provide elementary mystic skills. The association can provide elementary and intermediate mystic skills for free. Advanced mystic skills have to be bought with money. Earth grade and heavenly mystic skills can only be bought at auctions, Lan Ming explained. Oh, then I want one set of elementary, intermediate, and advanced mystic skills of each element, Lung Ruoxue said after some thought. All right. Apart from the elementary and intermediate mystic skills, they'll sell you the advanced mystic ones at a 40% discount, Lan Ming said after being stunned. Can it be cheaper? We're short on money, Old Man said pitifully, tears flashing in his slightly turbid eyes. 50% off then, Lan Ming said weakly as 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down his forehead. Thank you, President Lan. A faint smile appeared on Long Ruoxue's lips. She looked at Old Man with admiration in her beautiful eyes. Okay, you know how to save. Not bad. This is a good sign. Come with me. It'll bring you to get the mystic skills, Lan Ming said. Okay. Lung Ruoxue and the others followed Lan Ming to the library. After entering the library, Lan Ming took out several scrolls made of beast skin and handed them to Lung Ruoxue. All the mystic skills you want are here, Lan Ming said. Thank you, President Lan. Lung Ruoxue opened the beast hide scrolls and casually flipped through them. Miss Long, you can look for me if you need anything in Windless City, Lan Ming reminded. Okay, Grandpa, let's go. Lung Ruoxue turned to Lung Qingtian and the others. All right, President Lan, goodbye, Lung Qingtian said politely. After leaving the Mystic Association, Lung Ruoxue and the others planned to find an inn to stay at for the time being. But after searching several streets, they didn't find a suitable place. Either they were too expensive or the environments were too poor. This one. Lung Ruoxue looked at the relatively clean inn in front of her. Everyone nodded and walked in together. Excuse me, do you want to stay at the inn? The waiter welcomed them warmly as soon as they entered the inn. We want a guest room, Lung Ruoxue said. You're only booking one room with so many people? The waiter's eyes widened in disbelief. Did I hear it right? What? Is that not allowed? Lung Ruoxue asked. No, but there are so many of you. Is one room enough? The waiter couldn't help asking. That's our business, Lung Ruoxue said lightly. That's right. It's our business. Why are you asking so much? Hurry up and arrange a room for us, Old Zao said impatiently. Damn it. The prices here were exorbitant. It wasn't a place for humans to stay at all. Yes. I'll arrange it immediately, the waiter said fearfully and left. 10 minutes later, the waiter appeared in front of them. Everyone, the room has been arranged. Please follow me, the waiter said respectfully. Chapter 322. The Four Evils of Windless City, 3. Lung Ruoxue and the others followed the waiter to the second floor. The waiter pointed to the innermost room on the second floor. Everyone, this room is the best in our inn. Are you satisfied with it? Lung Ruoxue pushed open the door and walked in. She looked around at the layout of the room and said, Not bad. Would you like some food? The waiter asked. No need, Lung Ruoxue said lightly. We'll take my leave then. If you need anything, just instruct me at any time. Then the waiter left. After everyone entered the room, Lung Ruoxue closed the door. Then with a thought, she moved Lung Qingtian and the others into the bracelet. This place is still the best. Old Zao exclaimed after returning to the space. Of course, idiot. Old Man curled his lips. Grandpa, what do you want to eat tonight? Lung Ruoxue asked. Schwer, let's try the earth alligator meat, Lung Qingtian suggested. It had been a few days, but they had yet to have the chance to taste the meat. Okay, lass, let's eat that ugly thing tonight. Old Zao agreed, almost drooling. All right, Lung Ruoxue said. She hadn't eaten that thing before. Qingju, Lung Ruoxue called out softly into the void. Big sister, Qingju and the little black dog appeared in front of Long Ruoxue at the same time. Qingju, Grandpa, and the others want to eat earth alligator meat tonight. Cooperate with them, Long Ruoxue ordered. Okay, big sister, Qingju answered. Grandpa, they'll have to trouble you with dinner. I'm going to learn mystic skills, Long Ruoxue said slightly coquettishly. Go. Long Qingtian nodded. Long Ruoxue and Freak returned to the purple bamboo house. After entering the house, she took out the mystic skills and placed them in front of them. Freak, it'll let you learn the dark attribute ones first. Long Ruoxue found a beast hide scroll with dark attribute mystic skills and handed it to Freak. Okay. Freak took the beast hide scroll, opened it, read it once, and memorized the techniques for dark attribute mystic skills. He then returned the beast hide scroll to Long Ruoxue. You finished reading it already? Long Ruoxue said speechlessly. So speed. It's just elementary mystic skills. It's not difficult, Freak said nonchalantly. That's true. Long Ruoxue nodded. They were only the lowest level mystics now, so they could only learn elementary mystic skills. Schwer, you can learn later, Freak said with a face full of joy. His pitch-black and bright eyes flashed with more than 100,000 volts of electricity. What do you want to do? Long Ruoxue pretended to be stupid while her heart was thumping nonstop. Damn Freak, seducing me again. I want a kiss, he said bluntly, not giving her a chance to pretend to be stupid. No, I'm the one going to kiss you, Long Ruoxue said domineeringly. Then she unceremoniously lowered Freak's head and kissed him fiercely. The two of them kissed for a long time. Long Ruoxue felt that she was about to suffocate, so she left the enchanting lips of Freak. But he wasn't satisfied. Oh, Schwer, I want more. Boo-hoo. I haven't kissed her enough. I'm suffocating, Long Ruoxue complained, pouting her pink lips. Then I'll give you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Freak smiled cunningly and took the initiative to press his lips against Long Ruoxue's to give her mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Outside the purple bamboo house, everyone was busy preparing dinner, but it was full of spring in the purple bamboo hut. Stop kissing. Long Ruoxue panted heavily. She would faint if he continued kissing her. Schwer, I'm just giving you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Freak's eyes rippled with lust, letting out sparks. Hearing this, Long Ruoxue wanted to knock her head against Tofu. She regretted it so much. This phrase was just a coax-ball at the time. She didn't expect Freak to use it all the time as an excuse to kiss. Boo-hoo. Schwer, I'll let you go today. Hurry up and learn your mystic skills. Freak chuckled, but the words, "I'll make up for it in the future," were clearly written in his pitch-black eyes. Then don't you dare paw me, Long Ruoxue warned. Hee, you just reminded me. Freak's incomparably handsome face was full of a smug smile. Then he stretched out his long arm and pulled Long Ruoxue into his arms, hugging her tightly. Damn Freak, how can I learn like this? Long Ruoxue roared angrily. Boo-hoo. Why can't I do anything about him? Schwer, you do yours, and he'll do mine. We won't disturb each other. I'll all be fine. Freak said proudly. He really admired his idea. Long Ruoxue looked at Freak's very annoying expression and was speechless for a long time. Alas, she wanted to fight but couldn't bear to. What should I do with him? Schwer, quickly learn. We're going to eat soon, Freak urged while resting his head on Long Ruoxue's fragrant shoulder. Alas, Long Ruoxue sighed heavily, then resigned herself to her fate and picked up a beast hide scroll to learn. Freak watched Long Ruoxue intently from the side. Oh, Schwer looks so cute when she's studying seriously. Time passed. Schwer, dinner is ready. Long Qingshan's voice sounded from outside the purple bamboo house. Got it, Grandpa. Long Ruoxue stopped studying. Long Ruoxue turned to Freak. Freak, let's go. Okay. Freak nodded, and the two of them exited the purple bamboo house. Long Ruoxue and Freak came to the newly built general's mansion in the space. Everyone was sitting in the garden, eating and chatting happily. This general's mansion was specially built for Long Ruoxue and the others by their beasts. They had hidden it from them until they completed it to give them a big surprise. Chapter 323. The Four Evils of Windless City 4. When Long Ruoxue and her grandfather saw this general's mansion, which was identical to the one on the Ling Feng continent, they were so touched that tears welled up in their eyes and threatened to spill over. Their beasts were really too considerate. Unfortunately, her elder brother was still in seclusion and had yet to see this new home. After dinner, Long Ruoxue and Freak returned to the purple bamboo house to continue learning mystic skills. After 2 days, Long Ruoxue finally mastered all the mystic skills proficiently. The greatest advantage of mystic skills over spiritual skills was that they were more powerful. They were only elementary mystic skills, but they were more powerful than heavenly spiritual skills. Schwer, shall we go out for a walk? Freak suggested after seeing that Schwer had already finished learning. Okay. Long Ruoxue knew that Freak had been staying by her side all the time for the past 2 days. Although he would occasionally take advantage of her, he was probably bored to death. Then where should we go? Freak asked excitedly. Yay! I'm going to spend some time alone with Schwer. Let's go shopping on the streets. Long Ruoxue didn't know where to go either, but they had yet to go around the streets. Okay. Freak didn't care where they went. He just wanted to be alone with Schwer. But there were always third wheels disturbing him in the space. The two of them left the bracelet, exited the guest room, and ran into the waiter downstairs. Are you two going out? The waiter asked respectfully. Yes, we're going out for a walk, Long Ruoxue said lightly. The waiter looked around cautiously and whispered, Dear guests, I advise you not to go out today. Why is that? Long Ruoxue's curiosity was piqued. Because today is the day the city lord's daughter chooses her husband, the waiter said with a strange expression. What does her choosing her husband have to do with us? Long Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. Are ordinary people prohibited from going on the streets when the city lord's daughter chooses her husband? If so, they're a little too overbearing. Miss, to be honest, the daughter of the city lord of Windless City hates women who are more beautiful than her the most. She usually thinks of various ways to get rid of such women when she meets them, and she loves handsome men the most, especially stunningly beautiful men. Any man she wants can't run away from her. Almost all the good-looking men in Windless City, except for President Lon of the Mystic Association, have fallen into her hands. You two happen to fit the likes and dislikes of the city lord's daughter, so I advise you not to go out today to avoid getting into trouble, the waiter advised earnestly. She's just the daughter of a city lord. How can she be so lawless? Long Ruoxue really couldn't understand. To her knowledge, the city lord of Windless City didn't even seem to be a mystic. What could his daughter rely on to do whatever she wanted so wantonly? There's nothing we can do. He has a strong backer, and no one dares to provoke him, the waiter said disdainfully. Do you mean the Sun family? Long Ruoxue asked. Not only the Sun family, but also the Artificer Association. The city lord's daughter is said to be a rare 1-in-100-year talented artificer. Moreover, she is the beloved disciple of the Boundless Heaven Continent's Artificer Association's vice president, the waiter explained. Artificer Association? No wonder she's so arrogant. Long Ruoxue said disdainfully. What she hated the most were the second-generation rich children who relied on their status and power to lord over others. But it was no wonder she was so rampant with the Artificer Association backing her. After all, only the 5 major associations were comparable to the 3 great families on the Boundless Heaven continent. After hearing about the glorious deeds of the city lord's daughter, Long Ruoxue was surprised to find that the women she had encountered on the Ling Feng continent were really nothing. Compared with the city lord's daughter, those women's behavior seemed much more childish. Yes, the citizens of Windless City privately named the city lord's daughter as one of the 4 evils of Windless City, the waiter said with a chuckle. 4 evils? Who else is there? Long Ruoxue asked curiously. Flies, mosquitoes, cockroaches, and the city lord's daughter, the waiter said very smoothly. Long Ruoxue was at a loss for words. Rats were among the 4 evils she knew, but now the rats had been replaced by the city lord's daughter. This was really... Yes, Don't leave the inn for the next few days. I'm saying this for your own good, the waiter reminded worriedly. Thank you. May I know where the city lord's daughter will be choosing her husband? Lung Ruoxue asked. Why are you asking? Don't go and watch the commotion, the waiter said worriedly. Alas, he really didn't want such a beautiful girl to perish. Hee, don't worry. We won't go. Although Lung Ruoxue wasn't afraid of trouble, she was new here after all, so she wouldn't cause trouble if possible. After all, a strong dragon couldn't suppress a local snake. Oh, that's good. The city lord's daughter will be choosing her husband on East Street. It should be under martial law now, the waiter said. Thanks for the news. Lung Ruoxue took out a purple gold coin and stuffed it into the waiter's hand as a reward. Then she walked out of the inn with Freak. The waiter stood still while looking foolishly at the pair leaving as he muttered in his head, Didn't I make it clear? Why do they still want to go out? Schwer, where are we going to shop? Freak asked after leaving the inn. Wherever you want, Lung Ruoxue said nonchalantly. She came out to be with Freak. The city lord's daughter is in the east. Let's go north. Freak said after some thought. Okay. Lung Ruoxue nodded, and the two walked toward North Street together. North Street was in the north of Windless City and was a rather bustling street. There were shops lining both sides of the street, but there were few pedestrians on the street. Schwer, let's have a bowl of noodles. The two of them walked around for a while before Freak happened to see a noodle stall on the street, so the idea of eating noodles came to his mind. Chapter 324. The Four Evils of Windless City, 5. Okay. Lung Ruoxue nodded, and the two casually found a couple of seats to sit down. Hello, what would you like to eat? The noodle seller was an old man in his 70s. When he saw customers, he walked to Lung Ruoxue and Freak. Uncle, we want the best noodles you have, Lung Ruoxue said after some thought. Okay, wait a moment. The old man turned around and left happily. A few minutes later, he brought 2 bowls of steaming noodles. Just as Lung Ruoxue and Freak picked up their chopsticks and were about to taste the noodles, a young man knocked over their table. The 2 bowls of noodles fell to the ground with a plop, directly feeding the ground. Freak grabbed the young man's collar and roared angrily, Compensate us. I'm sorry. I didn't do it on purpose. Someone is chasing after me, the young man said apologetically and kept apologizing. Even if someone is chasing you, couldn't you have run somewhere else? Why did you have to knock into our table? Freak shouted furiously. I'm sorry. I really didn't do it on purpose. Hurry up and run. It will be too late if you don't, the young man said anxiously. He tried his best to break free from Freak's grasp, but he couldn't break free no matter what. Run? Why should we run? Is there a tiger behind us? Lung Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. Isn't this man the one being chased? Why do we have to run too? It's even more terrifying than a tiger. Zhu Muden is chasing after me. Run, the young man said anxiously. When the old man selling noodles heard the name Zhu Muden, he was so scared that he ran away without caring about his stall. Who is Zhu Muden? A pig with a peony on its head one? Lung Ruoxue asked curiously. How can you not know who Zhu Muden is? She's part of the famous 4 evils of Windless City, the daughter of the city lord, the young man said anxiously. He really wanted to die. How could he be unlucky as to meet these 2 ignorant brats? What was more infuriating was that these 2 people were still holding on to him tightly. Boo-hoo. Isn't she choosing a husband on East Street? Lung Ruoxue still didn't know that she and Freak had been classified as idiots by this man. I am her chosen husband, the young man roared. Congratulations, Lung Ruoxue said with a smile, while looking at the man being held captive by Freak. The man was about 20 years old. He was tall and had a handsome appearance with an extraordinary temperament. He was indeed a rare handsome man, but he was far inferior to Freak. Congratulations, my ass. I'll give you 2 choices. Either let me go or kill me, the young man said with a demeanor welcoming death. Why should we kill you? It's good to be the city lord's son-in-law. That's an iron rice bowl. You will have a backer in the future, Lung Ruoxue teased. Who cares? Zhu Muden already has 18 husbands. The young man said disdainfully. 18 husbands. Amazing. Long Ruoxue was stupefied. The young man gritted his teeth and said resolutely, "What must I do for you to let me go? State your conditions. I'll do anything." The young man looked at Freak and continued, "Moreover, don't blame me for not reminding you. The two of you are also in danger. You are a stunningly beautiful man and a stunning beauty, so Jumuden will definitely not let you go. Therefore, leaving this place earlier will be beneficial for us. Don't even think about leaving today." An extremely arrogant voice sounded in their ears. Long Ruoxue raised her beautiful eyes and sized up the owner of the voice. Is this one of the four evils of Windless City?" The woman in front of her was between 20 to 30 years old. She was tall and strong-looking, a little like an orangutan. Her skin was dark, but her figure was curvy. As for her facial features, they were quite complete, and there was everything that should be there. But her eyes, which obviously had signs of excessive overindulgence, were currently releasing a lusty glow. Her not-so-large eyes were staring intently at the young man and Freak. At this moment, Long Ruoxue suddenly remembered what the waiter said. The city lord's daughter hated women who were more beautiful than her the most. But with this woman's appearance, it was really not easy to find someone uglier than her. Upon seeing this woman, Long Ruoxue really wanted to ask, "Which zoo did you come out from? Why were the gates of the zoo so weak? Even gorillas run out. Who are you?" Long Ruoxue's beautiful face was full of question marks. "I am the famous daughter of the city lord, Jumuden. How can you not know me? Damn it." Jumuden was instantly angered when she heard that someone didn't know her. "I'm sorry. I've only heard of the famous four evils of Windless City, but I don't know the city lord's daughter," Long Ruoxue said lightly with a gentle smile. "It doesn't matter if you don't know. I'll let you know me now," Jumuden said, seemingly generous. "Thank you. I know you now." 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down Long Ruoxue's forehead. "By the way, did you just say that none of us can run away today?" Long Ruoxue asked doubtfully. "That's right," Jumuden said confidently. "Then what do you want to do with us?" Long Ruoxue was really curious. "I'm going to kill you, and then keep these 2 men as my 19th and 20th husbands," Jumuden boasted shamelessly with her mouth wide open. "Oh." Long Ruoxue deliberately dragged her voice. Her beautiful eyes looked at the young man and Freak, but she saw that the young man had the words, "I was right. It was better to run early," written on his face. "Can you manage so many husbands?" Long Ruoxue asked curiously. "No problem. My wish is to have 3,000 in my harem. I only have a few now," Jumuden said proudly. Long Ruoxue was speechless. This woman is really extraordinary. How could she say something like that? Chapter 325. Eliminating Evil for the People. 1. "So, isn't my wish grand?" Jumuden said confidently. Yes, very grand. But will there be so many men willing to marry you?" Long Ruoxue asked while suppressing her smile. "Of course. I'm a rare artificing genius. It's their honor to be able to marry me. They couldn't be happier, so how could they not be willing?" Jumuden raised her head high, so proud that her tail was about to curl up. That seems reasonable," Long Ruoxue echoed. Woman, it's useless even if you flatter me. You're dead meat." Jumuden roared with jealousy. She hated beautiful women. Long Ruoxue was stunned. "Flatter her? What kind of understanding does this lady have? When did I flatter her? This pig peony really thinks too highly of herself. Come, kill this woman and bring these 2 men back to the mansion," Jumuden ordered her subordinates. "Miss, can we play with this woman before killing her?" A wretched-looking middle-aged man said lecherously. "No problem. I'll reward you with this woman," Jumuden said generously. "Wait, you're not related to me in any way. What right do you have to decide my affairs?" Long Ruoxue asked speechlessly as several black lines rolled down her forehead. "Aren't these people a little too arrogant? Aren't they afraid of kicking an iron plate? We haven't even done anything yet, but they've already distributed the ownership of me and Freak." Jumuden pouted and said arrogantly, "Humph, I am almighty in Windless City and can decide everything here. Not necessarily. This man has nothing to do with me. You can take him, but the other one is mine. You're not allowed to touch a single strand of his hair. Lung Ruoxue pointed at the young man and then Freak. Humph. She's actually abducting a man in broad daylight on the streets and even wants to try snatching Freak away. She really has no eyes. Schwer. Freak looked at Long Ruoxue lovingly, his bright black eyes shining. After hearing what Long Ruoxue said, the young man almost vomited blood in anger. Boo-hoo. What kind of person is this? They were comrades in the trenches now, so how could they be so heartless? I want these two men, and you're dead meat. Zhu Muden roared with jealousy. Humph. How dare he flirt with another woman in front of me? They'll teach him a lesson when we get back. At this moment, she had already regarded Freak as her possession. Will you get him just because you say so? Do you really think you're an emperor? Lung Ruoxue said impatiently. I am the emperor in Windless City. Zhu Muden boasted shamelessly. Wrong. You are one of the 4 evils of Windless City hated by everyone. Lung Ruoxue said indifferently with mockery. What did you say? How dare you say that our young lady is one of the 4 evils of Windless City? Do you really want to die? The wretched middle-aged man jumped out and scolded loudly before Zhu Muden could say anything. Isn't it so? Don't you often curse your young lady as one of the 4 evils of Windless City in your head? Lung Ruoxue said lightly with a faint smile. This was what Baby told her through voice transmission just now. Nonsense. Miss, I've never scolded you. Don't listen to this woman's nonsense. The middle-aged man denied while looking at Zhu Muden in fear. Don't worry. I won't believe this woman's instigation, Zhu Muden comforted. Humph. Am not stupid. That was close. The middle-aged man broke out in a cold sweat. He knew better than anyone how vicious his young lattice methods were, so he was really scared just now. Fortunately, she didn't believe this woman's words. Humph. This woman is really too despicable. She actually dared to sow discord between me and Mississippi. I must torture her later. He couldn't help fantasizing about all the things he would do to her in his head. Big sister. This man said he will torture you later. Baby continued via voice transmission. Oh, Baby, Big sister knows, Lung Ruoxue said. Incompetent, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and attack. Zhu Muden ordered loudly. Yes, miss, the middle-aged man called incompetent quickly replied. Humph. Am ready to attack even if miss didn't say anything. Wait. Freak, who had been silent, suddenly said. Beauty, do you have anything to say to Big sister? Zhu Muden said with a smile. She couldn't help appreciating him in her head. Beautiful, too beautiful. This man is more beautiful than the 18 husbands in my mansion. I have to obtain this man. Only I am worthy of such beauty. This is your chosen husband. They'll return him to you. Freak pushed the man in his hand toward Zhu Muden. The young man didn't expect Freak's move at all, so he pounced directly at Zhu Muden without any mental preparation. Because of the momentum, he pressed Zhu Muden onto the ground. You're too anxious. We're in public, Freak said in surprise. In fact, there was no one on the street at this time. The few people here earlier were scared away when Zhu Muden appeared. Hearing what Freak said, the young man fainted from anger. Zhu Muden's immediate reaction was, it's over. The beauty is jealous. Zhu Muden crawled up from the ground awkwardly. She didn't even bother cleaning up the dirt on her body before immediately saying, Beauty, don't misunderstand. Don't worry. I won't misunderstand, Freak said with a gentle smile on his lips. That's good. Zhu Muden patted her chest, finally at ease. You have nothing to do with me, so why should I be jealous because of you? Freak said coldly as he stretched out his arm and pulled Lung Ruoxue into his arms. He had lived for so long, but he had never seen a woman who liked to flatter herself so much. In a way, this woman could be considered top grade. Chapter 326, Eliminating Evil for the People, 2, You. How dare you say that we have nothing to do with each other? How dare you? You are the man I, Zhu Muden, have my eyes on. Let go of that woman quickly, or I will punish you according to the family law." Zhu Muden roared, the flames of jealousy burning in her eyes. "Idiot," Freak said coldly and ignored her. "Incompetent. Go. Kill that woman." Zhu Muden ordered in anger. "Humph. I won't go easy this time." "Yes, miss." "Brothers, let's quickly teach this woman a lesson for miss," roared the middle-aged man, who had wanted to attack several times but was interrupted. "Let's go vent miss anger for her." The lackeys cooperatively. They waved the long sabers in their hands, slashing at Long Ruoxue and Freak. "Just kill that woman. Don't hurt my beauty," Zhu Muden quickly reminded. "Miss, don't worry. We won't hurt your husband," the middle-aged man promised. Long Ruoxue and Freak looked at these self-righteous people and were very puzzled. How could they be so confident? Where did this confidence come from? Freak hugged Long Ruoxue and agilely dodged all the attacks before saying pitifully, "Schwer, I'm so scared." "Don't be scared. They'll protect you well," Long Ruoxue comforted cooperatively. "How dare you? Do you think I need you to protect my man? Beauty, don't be scared. They will only kill that woman and won't hurt you." Zhu Muden roared angrily while glaring at Long Ruoxue. But when she looked at Freak, her expression changed rapidly. The change was so fast that it was dizzying. "Your man? Didn't your man faint?" Long Ruoxue reminded kindly. "They are both my men." Zhu Muden roared. "Why are you so useless? It's been so long, but you can't even kill a woman," Zhu Muden shouted at her subordinates. "Miss, it's not our fault. They're as slippery as loaches. We can't hit them," the middle-aged man said aggrievely. "Yes, Mississippi. These two people are too good at hiding," the other subordinate also complained. They kept swinging the large sabers in their hands, but they couldn't even touch Long Ruoxue's and Freak's clothes. "They'll do it." Zhu Muden planned to do it herself. "Freak, looks like Pig Peony plans to do it herself," said Long Ruoxue, who had been teasing the lackeys.
"Yes."
Freak nodded. At this moment, a black rod about the size of an adult's arm appeared in Zhu Muden's hand. The two ends actually had different thicknesses, and they were full of sharp barbs. "Oomph. Today, I'll let you have a taste of my power. No one I want to kill has ever survived." Zhu Muden smashed the rod at Long Ruoxue fiercely. Freak hugged Long Ruoxue and dodged the rod's attack. But suddenly, the spikes on the rod separated from the rod and surrounded the two of them from all directions. "Are these hidden weapons?" Long Ruoxue looked at these spikes doubtfully. They were surrounding her and Freak, waiting to charge at them, and were quite similar to her feather of the fire phoenix. "Haha, this is a sacred artifact my master gave him. For you to witness its power today, it's a worthy death." Zhu Peony laughed arrogantly. "Oh, then let me try its power," Long Ruoxue said calmly. "Oh, this sacred artifact is quite novel. The rod and hidden weapons actually combine together. Not bad. Seems that the master of Pig Peony is also a talent in refining artifacts. Die." Zhu Muden roared and activated the spikes. But what happened next surprised her a little because flames actually lit up around Long Ruoxue and Freak for some reason, enveloping them. Huh. Zhu Muden was dumbfounded. What's going on? Is she self-immolating? Beauty. My beauty. Damn it. If you want to die, die by yourself. Why are you dragging my beauty along? What are you waiting for? Hurry up and put out the fire. My beauty. Zhu Muden roared at her subordinates. Oh. The lackeys were about to step forward to put out the fire, but they found they couldn't get close at all because the temperature of the fire was too high. They would probably be grilled before they could get close. "Miss, the fire is too hot. We can't get close," a lackey said bitterly. "Useless things." Zhu Muden roared. She was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan, and blood was dripping nonstop from her heart. Boo-hoo. The beauty in my hands is flying away. At this moment, the young man who had fainted woke up. Seeing the situation in front of him, he was shocked. But he sincerely admired Long Ruoxue and Freak from the bottom of his heart. They really had backbone. They would rather die than submit. "You're awake. Great." Zhu Muden was elated to see the unconscious man wake up. Fortunately, she still had a handsome man. At least her efforts were not in vain. After hearing what Zhu Muden said, the young man rolled his eyes and fainted again. Seems he was scared by the fire. Zhu Muden thought, not knowing that this was all because of her. Where are my hidden weapons? When Zhu Muden's gaze turned to the flames, she found that all her hidden weapons had disappeared, and the two people in the flames were actually still alive and well. What's going on? How is this possible? Swear, this mystic skill isn't bad. Freak praised in the flames. Yes, although it's only an elementary mystic skill, it seems pretty effective. Lung Ruoxue had the same feeling. This was a new mystic skill she had learned, Blazing Mountain, a fire attribute mystic skill usable for offense and defense. She was very satisfied. Swear, what should we do with this pig? Freak asked in disgust. Make roasted pig. It can also be considered getting rid of evil for the people, Lung Ruoxue said lightly. She didn't want to leave a disaster that wanted to kill her in this world. Moreover, this bitch actually dared to have designs on Freak. Chapter 327. Eliminating Evil for the People, 3. Okay, let's do it cleanly and kill everyone here. Freak said coldly. Okay. Lung Ruoxue nodded, and then controlled her flames to attack Pig Peony and her lackeys. In the blink of an eye, Pig Peony and her group were on fire. I'm on fire. Hurry up and put out the fire. Zhu Muden screamed in panic. But her subordinates were only concerned about the fire on their bodies, so why would they bother about her? In an instant, the flames devoured Zhu Muda, and there weren't even any ashes left. The others didn't escape Zhu Muden's ending either. Swear, what about this man? Freak pointed at the fainted man. Lung Ruoxue put away the flames and said coldly, Kill him. Don't kill me. I won't sell you out. The young man was so scared that his entire body was trembling. He hurriedly got up from the ground and looked at them with a flattering expression on his face. Heavens! These two people are too terrifying. They even dared to kill Zhu Muden. Boo-hoo! Why am I so unlucky? Will they really silence me? Weren't you pretending to be dead? Lung Ruoxue said with a spurious smile. I just woke up, the young man said awkwardly. Boo-hoo! I don't have it easy. Swear, let's kill him for the sake of safety. Only the dead won't betray us, Freak said indifferently with his arms crossed. Yes, I think so too. Lung Ruoxue nodded in agreement. No, don't kill me. I have money. I'll give you all my money. Please let me go. The young man pleaded with tears in his eyes. Do you think we're bandits who kill and rob people? Lung Ruoxue said with slight displeasure as 2 drops of cold sweat dripped down her forehead. No. You are great heroes who rid the world of evil for the people. Really, believe me. The people of the city will be grateful to you, the young man said, full of flattery. There's no need to be grateful. It's good as long as you don't betray us, Lung Ruoxue said lightly. No, I will never betray you. Otherwise, I will die a horrible death. Just as the young man finished speaking, a contract array descended from the sky. Seeing how sincere you are, we won't kill you. Lung Ruoxue suppressed her laughter. Haha, he probably didn't expect his words to be taken as an oath. It's what I should do. The young man wanted to cry but had no tears. Why am I so unlucky? Boo-hoo. I only said that to express my sincerity. Who knew that the heavens would treat it as a contract? Boo-hoo. Freak, let's go back. Lung Ruoxue said to Freak after seeing that the matter was over. Okay. Freak nodded. The two of them turned and left, leaving the young man standing there foolishly. After a long while, the young man returned to his senses and hurriedly left this troublesome place. After returning to the inn, Lung Ruoxue and Freak met the waiter again. Welcome back. The waiter greeted them warmly. Okay, we plan to enter seclusion for a few days. Don't disturb us, Lung Ruoxue ordered. Okay, don't worry. I won't let anyone disturb you, the waiter promised. After returning to their room, Lung Ruoxue and Freak directly entered the bracelet. Swear, will there be any trouble? Lung Qingtian immediately welcomed his granddaughter when he saw her. They had seen what happened in the space just now. Grandpa, don't worry. Those who deserve to die are already dead, Long Ruoxue comforted. Oh, that's good. Lung Qingtian felt relieved to hear this. Lass, what happened just now was really enjoyable. Count me in if there's another chance like this in the future. Old Zao said, wanting to see the world burn. It's good enough for you to protect yourself, yet you want to get involved? Old man glared and mocked. I just want to get involved. What's wrong? It makes me happy. Old Zao roared, unwilling to be outdone. Stop arguing, Lung Ruoxue said helplessly. Old Zao, did you see this sacred artifact in Pig Peony's hand? Lung Ruoxue asked. I saw it. Good creativity, but lousy technique and ugly appearance, Old Zao said with contempt. As a good artificer, not only did you have to have good creativity, but your refined equipment had to be beautiful in addition to being powerful. Yes. Lung Ruoxue nodded. She wasn't too satisfied with the lousy rod either. It was too crude. Lass, I have a good idea. But you have to cooperate with me, Old Zao suddenly said mysteriously. Okay. Lung Ruoxue nodded. Old Zao piqued her curiosity. Haha, lass, let's give it a try now. Old Zao said impatiently. He had thought of this idea for a long time, but he had never had the chance to try it because of his limited capabilities. Let's go. Lung Ruoxue dragged Freak and left with Old Zao. The three of them arrived at the artificing workshop that Old Zao had built in the space. Haha, lass, how is it? This place isn't bad, right? Old Zao said proudly after entering the artificing workshop. Lung Ruoxue's beautiful eyes sized up the workshop's environment and then nodded. Not bad. Although Old Zao's artificing workshop was not very big, it had everything. In addition to a furnace in the middle of the workshop, all the materials and items needed for artificing were actually piled in the corner. This place is so messy, Freak couldn't help saying. Don't you think it's very convenient like this? Old Zao insisted. Laziness is laziness. You're just finding excuses. Freak rolled his eyes at Old Zao speechlessly. I really think it's more convenient this way. Old Zao quibbled. Old Zao, what do you want to refine? Lung Ruoxue ignored their conversation. Chapter 328. Eliminating Evil for the People. 4. I need to use this. Old Zao held a pitch-black ore in his hand. Is this black crystal ore? Lung Ruoxue asked doubtfully. Why is this black crystal ore different from the ones I've seen before? This is a black crystal or core I obtained by chance. It's extremely hard, and my flame can't melt it, so I need your help, Old Zao explained. Oh, then let's begin. Lung Ruoxue said. Okay, lass, use your flame to light the furnace for me. Old Zao sat cross-legged in front of the furnace. Okay. Lung Ruoxue released a small flame at her fingertips and threw it into the furnace. But the small flame melted the furnace in the blink of an eye. My furnace! Old Zao exclaimed loudly, his heart aching. Boo-hoo. This was my best furnace. Wait, wasn't the girl's flame a divine flame? My master passed down this furnace, so it should be able to withstand divine flames. Lass, let me see your flame again, Old Zao said doubtfully. Okay. Lung Ruoxue released a small flame from her fingertips and handed it to Old Zao. Old Zao jumped up in shock. Hot. So hot. Lass, keep your flame away from me. Lung Ruoxue helplessly moved the flame away. Is this far enough? Yes. Old Zao widened his eyes and carefully observed the small flame that was only the size of a fingernail. This flame seemed to be a little different from the last time he saw it. It seemed to be hotter. The flame used to be red with purple, but the purple wasn't obvious. But now, the proportion of purple seemed to be getting larger, and it had become a little more transparent. Could the flame have evolved? After observing for a long time, Old Zao asked uncertainly, Lass, has your flame evolved? Yes, it has already evolved twice, Lung Ruoxue said lightly. The reason her flame evolved was entirely due to her heaven-defying art. Moreover, Her flame could evolve every time she cultivated to another level of the heaven-defying art. But her flame would only be in the most perfect state when she cultivated to the 5th level of heaven-defying art. If she cultivated her heaven-defying art to the 9th level, her flame would be in the most extreme state. Old Zao was speechless. He had lived for so long, and this was the first time he had heard that flames could evolve. Not only did this little monster's flame evolve, but it had actually evolved twice. This was so infuriating. I don't want to live anymore. Boo-hoo. Lass, you destroyed my furnace. Old Zao said with a long face. I didn't do it on purpose. It's because your furnace isn't sturdy, Lung Ruoshue said somewhat guiltily. Not sturdy? This furnace belonged to my master's 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 masters. It was handed down generation after generation. We used it for thousands of years, and it was always fine. But you destroyed it all at once. Boo-hoo. I don't want to live anymore. I don't have the face to see our old ancestors from my artificing lineage anymore. Boo-hoo. Old Zao wailed while praying in his heart. Lass, hurry up and say it. Compensate me. Lung Ruoshue looked at the crying old Zao with a face full of black lines. She was speechless. Wasn't it just an artificing furnace? Why does it seem like his relatives died? Alas, does he have to go that far? All right, stop crying. They'll compensate you with one. Lung Ruoshue surrendered. Really? Then I want a good one, old Zao said, pushing his luck. Hee, I was waiting for this sentence. This girl has so many good things. Therefore, he had to seize the opportunity. Don't worry. My trashiest ones are better than yours, Lung Ruoshue said honestly. Among the things her master had left her, there were also many artificing and alchemy furnaces. But they had been piled in the utility room, and she had no time to organize them. Let's go get it now. Old Zao said impatiently. Let's go. The three of them left Old Zao's artificing workshop and headed straight for the purple bamboo house. Schwer. You finished so quickly? Lung Qingtian, who was sitting on a stone bench, asked curiously. No. My flame melted Old Zao's furnace, so I have to compensate him with one. Lung Ruoshue explained. Little girl, don't fall for Old Zao's trick. The quality of Old Zao's furnace was probably too poor. Old man reminded. Nonsense. It was the artificing treasure passed down for generations in my lineage. How could the quality be poor? Old Zao stomped his feet in anger. You also said it was passed down for generations. It must have been used for too long and became a little old. Old man deliberately argued. Bullshit. I've never heard of an aging furnace. Old Zao was so angry that he clenched his teeth. He really wanted to go up and bite him ruthlessly, but he couldn't beat him. Boo-hoo. Lass. Old Zao knew that he couldn't do anything to old man, so he looked at Lung Ruoshue pitifully, hoping that the girl could uphold justice for him. Don't you want a furnace? Come in and choose quickly. Lung Ruoshue said helplessly. She couldn't do anything to these two bickering old men. Oh, let's go quickly, Old Zao urged while looking at old man provocatively. The three of them walked into the purple bamboo house. Lung Ruoshue led Old Zao into the utility room and pointed at the various artificing furnaces placed randomly by the wall. Choose yourself. Lass, I won't hold back then. Old Zao's eyes lit up as he drooled. Then he rushed toward the furnaces. Lung Ruoshue and Freak found a random place to sit down not far from Old Zao. Old Zao was half lying in the pile of artificing furnaces, looking left and right. But he didn't know what to choose because in his eyes, every single one of these furnaces was top grade and the favorites of artificers. Boo-hoo. I want every one of them. What should I do? He was very conflicted. Chapter 329. Eliminating Evil for the People. 5. Schwer. Guess which one he will choose? Freak, sitting not far away, asked curiously. I guess he won't choose any, Lung Ruoshue said understandingly. Why? Freak didn't believe that Old Zao wouldn't choose. After all, an artificer's furnace was as important as their life to an artificer. Because he won't be able to decide. Can't you see how conflicted he is? Lung Ruoxue said with some amusement. That's true. Freak nodded in realization. At this moment, old Zao's voice sounded. Lass, help me choose one. I don't know which to choose. Boo-hoo. He was dazzled. Just take anyone. Anyone is better than the one you had. Lung Ruoxue sighed lightly. All right, I want this then. Old Zao chose a beautiful one. Since you've chosen, let's continue refining artifacts. Lung Ruoxue urged. Okay, old Zao answered. Holding his new furnace, he left the utility room with Lung Ruoxue and Freak. The three of them returned to old Zao's artificing workshop without delay. Lass, light a fire for me again. Old Zao looked at his new furnace lovingly as though he was looking at his beloved. Okay. Lung Ruoxue released another small flame at old Zao's request and lit the furnace. This time, the furnace finally withstood the test and didn't melt. After the furnace was lit, old Zao waited patiently for it to heat up. When the temperature reached his requirements, he immediately threw the black crystal or core into the furnace. After a few minutes, it melted bit by bit. After the black crystal or core melted into a black liquid, old Zao threw the other materials he had prepared into the furnace one by one. Lung Ruoxue and Freak stood quietly by the side, appreciating old Zao's art of artificing. Meanwhile, the city lord's mansion was in a mess. In the main hall of the city lord's mansion, a beautiful middle-aged woman was crying while half kneeling on the ground. She hugged a middle-aged man's thigh tightly and wailed, "Husband, Muden is missing. Boo-hoo. Hurry up and send people to look for her." "Stop crying. You're annoying," the ordinary-looking middle-aged man roared impatiently. He was the city lord of Windless City, Zhu Binghuan. "Husband, Muden is your most beloved daughter and the most promising daughter of our Zhu family. She hasn't returned for so long. Aren't you worried at all?" The middle-aged woman cried. "Of course I'm worried. I've already sent people to look for her," Zhu Binghuan said with a slight headache. Alas, this daughter of his was good in every way, but she was too lustful. Whenever she saw a beautiful man, she wanted to snatch him home. She already had 18 husbands, but she still felt that it wasn't enough. He really couldn't do anything about this. The only thing he could do was to try his best to satisfy his daughter's lust. After all, Muden was the Zhu family's greatest hope. He knew that his life would be like this for the rest of his life. Although he couldn't convert his spiritual power and become a mystic, he had become a city lord with his connections with the Sun family at the very least. However, outsiders could only see his glory, but no one knew his difficulties. Even though he was the lord of a city on the surface, he was only a dog of the Sun family. He didn't even dare to breathe loudly in front of the Sun family. Therefore, he had always hoped that there would be someone outstanding among his children. So after finally producing a daughter with talent in artificing, he really spoiled this daughter to the heavens. After all, his position in the Sun family improved a lot by having a relationship with the Artificer Association. "Husband, it's been so long, but we still haven't found Muden. Do you think something has happened to our daughter?" The middle-aged woman said worriedly. "Shut up. Don't jinx it," Zhu Binghuan roared. The future of their Zhu family counted on this daughter. Therefore, he would never allow anything to happen to her. Moreover, he didn't think that anyone would dare to bully his precious daughter in Windless City. At this moment, the steward came to report. "Master, the people we sent out to look for Miss have returned, but we didn't find her." Zhu Binghuan raised his eyes slightly and asked, "Have you searched all of Windless City?" "We've searched, but we didn't find her. However, someone saw Miss chasing after a man," the steward said carefully. "Chasing a man? Which family's man did she chase after?" Zhu Binghuan roared furiously. This damn girl was really troublesome. They were worried about her at home, but she ran out to chase a man. "It seems to be a man from another city." The steward told him the situation that his subordinate had reported to him. "What does that man look like? Has anyone seen him?" Zhu Binghuan asked. "He's very handsome, Master. According to the description of the informers, I ordered people to draw a picture of him. I believe that as long as we find him, we will definitely be able to find Miss," the steward reminded. Easy for you to say. Where can we find a man that's not native? Zhu Binghuan roared furiously. Master, Windless City is your territory. We will find that man as long as he hasn't left Windless City, the steward comforted. Makes sense. Take the portrait and look around the inns in the city. Zhu Binghuan ordered. Yes, master. I'll go now. The steward received the order and left. Inside the Heaven and Earth bracelet. In Old Zeos Artificing Workshop, Long Ruoxue and Freak were staring at Old Zeos Artificing when Qingju's voice suddenly sounded in Long Ruoxue's head. Big sister, people are coming from outside. Qingju reminded via voice transmission. Oh? Who? Long Ruoxue asked curiously. Seems to be from the city lord's mansion, Qingju replied. Okay, I understand, Long Ruoxue said. But she couldn't help guessing in her heart why the people from the city lord's mansion were here. Could they already know that I killed Jumuden? Impossible. There was no one on the street at the time, and even the owners closed their shops in fright after seeing Jumuden, and the only witness accidentally swore an oath. Chapter 330. Eliminating Evil for the People. 6. Freak. Qingju said people from the city lord's mansion are outside. I'm going out to take a look, Long Ruoxue whispered. I'll go out with you, Freak said. He was worried about Schwer going out alone. No need. Stay here. I'll be back after taking a look. Long Ruoxue flashed out of the bracelet. As soon as Long Ruoxue exited the Heaven and Earth bracelet and entered the guest room, she heard an argument outside the door. Outside the room, the waiter stopped the steward from the city lord's mansion who came to search. The waiter mustered his courage and explained, I'm sorry, Steward Zhu. It's not that I don't want to let you go in, but the guests said that no one is allowed to disturb them since they are in seclusion. Seclusion? Is their seclusion more important, or my young lattice whereabouts more important? Can't you tell which is more important? Steward Zhu said loudly with his head raised arrogantly. Of course the whereabouts of the city lord's daughter is important. But to be honest, Steward Zhu, the guests in this room are not to be trifled with. If you really offend the guests, I'm afraid. Even the city lord won't be able to save you, the waiter said mysteriously. Who is in the room? Where did these big shots come from? Steward Zhu was a little hesitant when he heard what the waiter said because he was sure that a lowly waiter wouldn't dare to lie to him. After all, he was the city lord's trusted aide. So he probed. How would this little one dare to ask? I'm not tired of living. But Steward Zhu, the guests in this room don't have good tempers. Therefore, I advise you not to barge in forcefully. You probably can't bear the consequences if you interrupt the guest's seclusion. Steward Zhu, these are my heartfelt words. I'm doing this for your own good, the waiter said with a sincere expression. But the city lord will blame me if I don't go in to search. Steward Zhu hesitated. Should he enter or not? What if the people in the room were really people he couldn't afford to offend? Then he would be the unlucky one. The city lord wouldn't offend these big shots to protect him. Steward Zhu, how would the city lord know if you don't tell him? The waiter whispered. But I brought my subordinates with me, Steward Zhu said with a troubled expression. What he implied was that he was afraid that someone would betray him. Steward Zhu, besides the city lord, you have the most authority in the city lord's mansion. They definitely won't dare to betray you, the waiter said flatteringly. That's true, but I can't let my brothers return empty-handed. Steward Zhu's face was full of difficulties. Hee, that makes sense, the waiter said with a smile. Then he secretly stuffed a purple gold coin into Steward Zhu's hands, but he couldn't help cursing in his heart, vampire. Steward Zhu looked at the purple gold coin in his hand. It's a little too little, but it's still something. In that case, we won't disturb their cultivation for now. We'll confirm with them again when they come out of seclusion, Steward Zhu said in a seemingly reasonable manner. After speaking, he led his subordinates and left the second floor of the inn in a grandiose manner. A group of vampires. The waiter standing there couldn't help cursing after Steward Zhu and his group left. You, come in for a bit. Lung Ruashue said from the room.
Yes.
The waiter knocked on the door politely and entered. Miss, how may I help you? The waiter asked respectfully after entering the room. Were those people from the city lord's mansion? Lung Ruashue asked even though she already knew. Yes, the leader is Steward Zhu from the city lord's mansion, the waiter explained. What are they doing here? Lung Ruashue pretended to be confused. They said they came here to look for the city lord's daughter. I heard that the city lord's daughter chased after a man, the waiter said honestly. This city lord's daughter is quite open-minded, Lung Ruashue said mockingly. This continent was also a world where the strong were respected, but there were still many restrictions on women. So Zhu Muden's behavior was absolutely shocking. Yes. She often does things that infuriate both humans and gods just because she's an artificer, the waiter said disdainfully. Thank you for what you did just now. We really don't like being disturbed. Lung Ruashue said very politely and handed the waiter a tip of 10 purple coins. This is too much. I can't take it, the waiter said quickly, flattered. He had never encountered such a generous guest. You deserve it, Lung Ruashue said. She was very satisfied with the waiter's performance just now. Thank you for your reward, Mississippi. The waiter accepted the purple gold coins and left the room. Lung Ruashue returned to the bracelet and saw Freak pouting and staring at her. What's the matter? Lung Ruashue pretended to be stupid. Don't pretend to be stupid. You actually left me alone and went out by yourself. Boo-hoo! Freak said aggrievedly as his black eyes welled up with tears. The expression on his face was like that of an abandoned puppy, cute and pitiful. Didn't I only go out for a bit before coming back? Lung Ruashue said helplessly. Freak snorted and ignored her, but his face clearly said, What do you think you should do? Compensate me. Alas, Lung Ruashue sighed. Then she simply hugged Freak's neck, pulled his head down, and kissed him fiercely on the lips. That's it, Freak said, very displeased. What else? Lung Ruashue frowned slightly. It is too short, lacking in quality. Freak pouted with dissatisfaction. It's not convenient here, Lung Ruashue said uncomfortably. Damn Freak. Shouldn't you take a look at where we are? This is Old Zao's artificing workshop. Old Zao is busy and has no time to care about us, Freak said, his face full of expectation. That won't do either. I'll owe you first, Lung Ruashue said, leaving no room for negotiation. You can owe me, but I am going to charge interest. Freak smiled very proudly. Chapter 331. A Tour of the Prison, 1. Okay. Lung Ruashue nodded helplessly. Then the two of them turned their gazes to Old Zao, who was refining artifacts. At this moment, the equipment refinement was nearing the end. But Old Zao became nervous instead. His eyes widened as he stared at the furnace unblinkingly. Lung Ruashue and Freak were also staring at the furnace because the liquid inside was in the stage of shaping. They were very curious about what equipment Old Zao wanted to refine. When the liquid in the furnace slowly took shape, the equipment Old Zao refined finally revealed its true appearance. It was actually a female necklace in the shape of a heart. In the middle of the necklace was a very beautiful, dazzling ruby. After the final tempering and quenching, Old Zao finally took the necklace out. Lass, how is it? Pretty, isn't it? Old Zao looked at the necklace in his hand with a happy expression on his old face. Oh, my dream has finally come true. Yes, but what is the function of this necklace? Lung Ruashue asked curiously. Guess. Old Zao's face was full of mystery. Defense? Lung Ruashue guessed. She didn't expect Old Zao to keep her in suspense. Nope. Attack? Lung Ruashue guessed again. Nope. I can't guess it, Lung Ruashue said very uncooperatively. Haha, I knew you wouldn't be able to guess it. Let me tell you, this necklace combines attack and defense. Moreover, it has the function of invisibility. How is it? Amazing, right? Old Zao said proudly. Yes, the invisibility function is good, Lung Ruashue praised. Also, Do you see this hole? There are hidden weapons inside. I was inspired by that ugly rod. Old Zao pointed at an inconspicuous little hole below the pendant proudly. His equipment was also a sacred artifact, and it was much more beautiful than that lousy rod. Not bad. Lung Ruoxue praised. Old Zao is pretty talented in artificing. So, who do you intend to give the necklace to? Lung Ruoxue asked curiously. No one. I want to use it myself, Old Zao said. Use it yourself? You can't use the necklace yourself, right? Lung Ruoxue's beautiful face was full of question marks. She thought she heard wrongly. Men can also wear necklaces, Old Zao said nonchalantly. Alas, the person he wanted to give it to was no longer in this world, so he could only use it himself. Boo-hoo. Use it yourself then. Lung Ruoxue was a little speechless. Hee, right, lass, what did you go out for just now? Old Zao asked curiously. Someone from the city lord's mansion came. I went out to take a look, Lung Ruoxue explained. Oh, is everything all right? Old Zao asked worriedly. Nothing much at the moment. Everyone in the city lord's mansion thinks that Jumuden is chasing after a man. Lung Ruoxue smiled lightly. Haha, seems like it isn't the first time Mishu has done that. Old Zao couldn't help laughing hysterically. Old Zao, let's go out since you're finished refining. Lung Ruoxue said. All right, let's go. Hee, I want to show off in front of those old fellows, Old Zao said smugly. TCH, what's there to show off about? Freak said full of contempt. You don't understand. Old Zao said happily. After exiting Old Zao's artificing workshop, Lung Ruoxue and Freak returned to the purple bamboo house, while Old Zao went to Lung Qingtian and the others to show off his latest achievement. Schwer, there is no third wheel now. Freak immediately pulled Lung Ruoxue into his arms as soon as they entered the purple bamboo house. His goal was obvious. There's people outside. Lung Ruoxue said deliberately. Boo-hoo. Schwer, how can you play dirty? They want barge in. Freak pouted with dissatisfaction. But Ball will barge in. Lung Ruoxue said with a cunning smile. They'll lock the door and won't let him in, Freak said through gritted teeth. This wasn't the first time that nasty little thing had messed with his plans. Haha. Looking at the depressed Freak, Lung Ruoxue was in a good mood. She directly pushed this unbelievably beautiful man onto the bed and threw herself onto him. Why am I becoming more and more of a pervert? I keep wanting to push Freak down. I have to change this habit. Schwer, come on. I'll let you do whatever you want, Freak said expectantly as he lay on the bed without resistance. You can't be like this. You have to resist no matter what. That way, I will have a sense of accomplishment so that I can use force. Lung Ruoxue said with some dissatisfaction. Hee, I want to bully him properly while looking at his cute appearance. Boo-hoo. I've actually learned bad things, but I can't wait to be bullied by you. Why should I resist? Freak said aggrievedly, tears flashing in his bright black eyes. But, Schwer, hurry up. Freak urged impatiently. Freak, be more reserved. Lung Ruoxue suggested. I don't want to be more reserved. Freak refused and directly brought his lips to Lung Ruoxue's lips. Alas, Schwer hasn't moved for a long time, so I can only rely on myself. As the saying went, only by doing it himself could he have ample food and clothing. After a long time, Freak, stop. I can't breathe, Lung Ruoxue quickly said after a long kiss. That's good. They'll give you mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Freak smiled seductively and kissed Lung Ruoxue's tender pink lips again. Hey, is Big Sister giving Big Brother mouth-to-mouth resuscitation again? A simple and curious voice sounded in their ears just as they were kissing. Embarrassed, Lung Ruoxue sat up from Freak in a somewhat disheveled manner. She looked at the fluffy little thing in front of her and smiled helplessly. Alas, I was right. Ball barged in again. Chapter 332. A Tour of the Prison. 2. Yes, Big Brother often feels unwell. Lung Ruoxue braced herself. In that case, Ball Ball will help too. Ball Ball's fluffy little face was full of worry. No need. I'm fine now. Freak hurriedly sat up on the bed in fright. Ball Ball, what are you doing here? What's the matter? Long Ruashue held back her smile and hugged the cute little ball. Big sister, when can Ball Ball advance? Ball Ball sighed with a sad face. Boo-hoo. Everyone has advanced, but I still haven't changed much. Ball Ball, how will you be able to advance? Long Ruashue asked curiously. Ball Ball was like baby, different from other beasts, so she didn't know what to do to help their advancement. I need to look for treasures. Moreover, the higher the quality of the treasures I find, the faster my advancement will be, Ball Ball said with slight distress. Ball Ball, don't be anxious. Wait until Big Sister is stronger, and then we can go out to train. You can find many good treasures then, Long Ruashue comforted. Okay, Big Sister, when are we leaving this place? Ball Ball asked curiously. We'll leave after Grandpa and the others finish cultivating their elementary mystic skills, Long Ruashue explained. Well, it would probably take a few more days for her grandfather and the others to finish cultivating all the mystic skills. Hee, Big Sister, am going out? Continue giving Big Brother mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, Ball Ball said very thoughtfully after chatting for a while. He then flapped his little wings and left the purple bamboo house. This little thing is pretty sensible, Freak said with satisfaction. Freak, isn't it time to eat? Long Ruashue asked. Schwer, I still need mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. I want to eat first, Freak said coquettishly. But I'm hungry. Long Ruashue rubbed her stomach. Eat me. I'm very delicious, Freak recommended himself. Eating you won't fill my stomach. Long Ruashue glanced at Freak and then stood up, preparing to leave the purple bamboo house to find something to eat. Schwer, wait for me. I'll go with you. Freak hurriedly followed and grabbed Long Ruakshue's hand. The two left the purple bamboo house. Grandpa, what do you want to eat later? Long Ruashue and Freak found Long Qingtian and the others. Schwer, you came at the right time. We were just discussing that we want to head out to eat. Long Qingtian said when he saw his granddaughter. What are we going out to eat? Long Ruashue asked curiously. Why are Grandpa and the others suddenly interested in the food outside? We just want to go out and look for something we haven't eaten before. Long Qingtian explained. Oh. Long Ruashue understood after hearing what her grandfather said. These old men were bored and wanted to go out for a walk. Then let's go out together. Long Ruashue continued. Haha, okay. Long Qingtian smiled happily. After tidying up simply, Long Ruashue and the others left the room. Miss, you have to be careful when you go out. The city lord's daughter hasn't been found yet. I heard that the city lord has already cordoned off most of Windless City. They met the waiter again when they walked to the inn's lobby. Thank you. Well, be careful, Long Ruashue said. After exiting the inn, Long Ruashue and the others arrived at a neighboring street from the inn. Grandpa, I heard that the Jade Bamboo Pavilion is the best restaurant in Windless City. Why don't we take a look there? Long Ruashue suggested. Okay. Everyone nodded and then walked into the Jade Bamboo Pavilion on the street. Long Ruashue and the others walked into the restaurant and specially found a window seat. A waiter hurriedly came forward and greeted them warmly as soon as they sat down. Hello, is this your first time at our Jade Bamboo Pavilion? What would you like to eat? Serve us your signature dishes, Long Ruashue said after some thought. Okay, please wait a moment. The waiter turned and left. A bit later, the waiter returned to their table with a few plates of steaming food. Everyone, these are the best signature dishes of our restaurant. Please enjoy, the waiter said very respectfully and then left. Grandpa, quickly try it, Long Ruashue urged. This should be the first meal they had outside since coming to the Boundless Heaven continent. They look pretty good, Long Qingtian said while looking at the dishes on the table. We'll know after we try, Long Ruashue said. To be honest, she wasn't very interested in the food outside now. But in order not to dampen the spirits of her grandfather and the others, she was the first to raise her chopsticks, pick up a piece of grilled meat, and put it in her mouth. It tastes good, but the quality of the raw ingredients isn't very good. Old man evaluated after eating a mouthful of food. TCH, isn't it obvious? Do we need you to tell us? Old Zao said disdainfully. You damn old man. No one will think you're a mute if you don't speak. Old man roared. Lung Ruoxue was a little speechless as she looked at the two old men fighting like chickens and said helplessly, Why are you two arguing nonstop when we're eating? That's right. Stop it at once and eat properly. Lung Qingshan's face was stern as he glared at the two old men. They immediately shut their mouths obediently. At this moment, a young woman suddenly appeared from nowhere and rushed to their table. She begged with tears all over her face, Kind people, save me. Woo-woo. But no one bothered with her. Kind people, save me. Am willing to do anything to repay you. The woman continued, unwilling to give up. What's going on? Lung Ruoxue asked the waiter nearby with some displeasure. I'm sorry, everyone. They'll get her to leave now, the waiter said quickly. Leave this place quickly. This isn't a place you can come. With a displeased face, the waiter pulled the woman up. Chapter 333. A Tour of the Prison 3. Please take pity on me. Save me. You can't leave me in the lurch. The woman wept, her beautiful face full of tears. Can't leave her in the lurch? Lung Ruoxue looked her up and down after hearing what the woman said. The woman was about 17 or 18 years old. She had an outstanding appearance, a good temperament, and a tall and sexy body. Her beautiful eyes were tender and shy as she stole glances at Freak, and her tender lips were as alluring as fresh rose petals. In short, this woman had a weak appearance that was enough to make any man feel pity for her. Unfortunately, she had found the wrong people. None of them in this group knew how to love and cherish beauties. Moreover, she was a beauty with ulterior motives. Take pity on you? Who will take pity on us? Old Zao said disdainfully while rolling his eyes at the woman. TCH, how dare you show off in front of us with such poor acting skills? You can't even fool me, yet you still want to trick these smart people. Aren't you courting death? The young woman was stunned. Why is it different from what I imagined? I'm just a little girl. There are so many of you. How can you be more pitiful than me? What's wrong with me? I'm actually comparing myself to them in terms of who is more pitiful. We're pitiful because there are too many people. We're so poor that we can't support ourselves, old man said, and even exaggeratedly wiped his tears. The young woman was speechless. No money? How dare you eat here without money? This is the most expensive restaurant in Windless City. Why don't you take pity on us and help us pay for our meal? Old Zao added, very rarely not being at odds with old man. The corner of the waiter's mouth, who had been pulling the woman, twitched, and he almost fainted. Boo-hoo. Could these people really be poor? The dishes he served them were the most expensive in their restaurant. He would be in trouble if they really couldn't pay for the meal. Can you save me if I help you pay for your meal? The woman asked after some thought. Is there a need for poor people like us to save you if you can even afford to pay for such an expensive meal? It's so funny. Haha. Old Zao laughed out loud without giving her any face. Humph. You've finally revealed your true colors. I have other difficulties. Since you're short on money, I'll pay for you, and you can help me, okay? The woman's beautiful face was full of anticipation, and her eyes were brimming with affection as she stared at Freak unscrupulously. She originally wanted to pretend to be pitiful and gain sympathy, but not only did these people not have any sympathy, but they were actually poor. Alas, I'll accept it as long as my goal can be achieved. No, why should we help you? We don't know you. Old Zao refused without hesitation. I'm Zhu Furong, and my father is the city lord of Windless City. The woman introduced herself. Oh, so you're the city lord's daughter. Old Zao said in realization. Isn't this too much of a coincidence? We encountered one daughter of the city lord the last time we went out, and we actually encountered another one this time. The waiter, who had been pulling the woman, quickly let go of her in fright when he heard that she was the city lord's daughter. His eyes rolled back, His legs gave way, and he fainted. Long Ruoshue didn't expect the power of a city lord's daughter to be so great that someone fainted from fright. She looked at the fainted waiter and laughed hysterically in her heart. The woman, Zhu Furong, changed from her earlier pitiful appearance and said arrogantly, "Yes, you will definitely benefit if you help me. How can ordinary people like us help you when even the daughter of a city lord can't solve it?" Old man said indifferently with his lips curled. "You can. Only you can help me," Zhu Furong said with certainty. "Oh, tell us about it," Old man said curiously. "It's like this. My father arranged a marriage for me." Zhu Furong looked at Freak and stopped. "Oh, congratulations. This is a great happy event," Old man said sincerely. "My father actually wants me to marry an old man in his 80s. What kind of happy event is this?" Zhu Furong roared furiously. "80s is very young," Old man said very fairly. "For cultivators, 80 years old was really not very old. I won't marry him. I want to marry whoever I want." Zhu Furong roared, so angry that her beautiful face distorted slightly. "You have to listen to your parents and the matchmaker," Old man advised patiently. "I won't marry. If I have to marry, I have to marry someone as young and handsome as him." Zhu Furong pointed at Freak with a face full of joy. So this girl has taken a liking to our little girl's man. This won't do," Old man muttered in his head. "I really don't understand why all the daughters of the city lord's mansion are so lustful. They actually all target Bratyi. Alas, Bratyi is really a source of trouble. Get lost," Freak roared without even looking at the so-called city lord's daughter. "This damfly is really annoying. How dare you treat me like this? Do you know who the greatest in Windless City is?" Zhu Furong roared back angrily. "I don't care who the greatest is. Get lost. Hurry and disappear from in front of me. Otherwise, I can't guarantee that I want hit women," Freak threatened. You will regret it. You will come to beg me sooner or later," Zhu Furong said angrily. Then she turned around and left furiously. "Watch them closely," Zhu Furong said to the void after leaving the Jade Bamboo Pavilion. Even though no one answered in the void, there were waves of fluctuations. In the Jade Bamboo Pavilion, Long Ruoshue and the others finished eating and immediately returned to the inn. After returning to the inn, everyone immediately entered the room and directly entered the bracelet. In the purple bamboo house, Freak said, "Schwerer, someone is following us." Chapter 334, A Tour of the Prison, 4. "Yes, they're probably Zhu Furong's people," Long Ruoshue said understandingly. She didn't take Zhu Furong seriously at all. "Schwerer, there are bad people who want to hit on me. You have to protect me." Freak took the opportunity to act coquettishly. "Okay, don't worry. I will definitely protect you," Long Ruoshue promised cooperatively. "I'm counting on you," Freak said affectionately with a smile on his lips. "Master, you can be at ease with a lass like me around?" Long Ruoshue raised Freak's chin gently with her index finger and teased him like a lecher. "Lass, I feel so safe with you around." Freak's black eyes began to glow with electricity again. "Haha, master, it's getting late. Let's sleep early," Long Ruoshue said with a light smile after having enough fun. "Yes, lass. Your master is a little sleepy." Freak yawned. "Lass, master will warm your bed." Freak lay on the purple jade bed, full of seduction. "Master, there's no need for warmth here," Long Ruoshue said helplessly while glancing at Freak. "Damn Freak, can you not be so alluring?" she shouted in her head. "Stop seducing me." "Boo-hoo. Then you have to let me hug you." Freak stretched out his long arm and directly pulled Long Ruoshue into his arms, hugging her tightly. "Hurry up and sleep." Long Ruoshue closed her eyes. "Schwerer, good night," Freak said softly and planted a kiss on Long Ruoshue's pink lips. Then he closed his eyes and went to sleep. The next morning, Long Ruoshue and Freak had breakfast after waking up, then left the bracelet to find the waiter. In the hall of the inn, the waiter stood respectfully in front of Long Ruoshue and Freak. Miss, are you looking for me? Yes, I have something to ask you, Lung Ruoxue said. What is it? I will tell you everything I know, the waiter said straightforwardly. Okay, I want to know Zhu Furong's situation, Lung Ruoxue said directly. She had discussed with her grandfather and the others just now and felt that it was better to know what she was like. So she and Freak came to ask this waiter about her situation early in the morning. Why is Miss asking about her? The waiter asked in puzzlement. We met her when we went out yesterday. She wanted to ask us for help, but we refused, Lung Ruoxue explained simply. It's over. That Zhu Furong is the most vengeful. She won't let you go, the waiter said worriedly. Although the city lord didn't have a son, he had 5 daughters, and these 5 daughters were all bad. Zhu Muden was lecherous and specialized in bullying women and men. Zhu Furong was vengeful. Anyone who offended her would have a miserable end. Zhu Lianrong was vicious and tortured people without even blinking. There were also 2 extremely arrogant and overbearing daughters, even though they were underage. Miss, you should leave this place quickly. The waiter continued after telling Lung Ruoxue about the Zhu family. Why should I leave? Lung Ruoxue wasn't a timid person. Although she would never take the initiative to cause trouble, she would never hide if trouble found her. It's them. Arrest them. An extremely arrogant woman's voice sounded in their ears before the waiter could answer. Lung Ruoxue, Freak, and the waiter all looked over at the owner of the voice. Oh no, Zhu Furong unexpectedly came so quickly. The waiter's heart skipped a beat when he saw Zhu Furong bringing people aggressively into their inn. His gaze couldn't help turning to Lung Ruoxue and Freak. These 2 people are dead meat. Alas. Lung Ruoxue and Freak looked at each other with excitement in their eyes. She came quickly. Why are you arresting us? What crime did we commit? Lung Ruoxue widened her innocent, beautiful eyes, her beautiful face full of puzzlement. Stealing. I lost a valuable piece of jewelry. Zhu Furong looked very angry. She knew that they were staying in this inn, so she didn't dare to delay for a moment. She hurriedly brought people over, afraid that they would run away. How strange. What does losing your jewelry have to do with us? Lung Ruoxue said lightly. What a lame excuse. I suspect that you stole it because that piece of jewelry disappeared after I left the Jade Bamboo Pavilion yesterday. I've only interacted with you, so you are the most suspicious, Zhu Furong said confidently. Oh, with your logic, can I also suspect you if I lose something? Lung Ruoxue asked calmly. Of course not. I am the noble daughter of the city lord. How could I do such a thing? But you are poor people who can't even pay for a meal, so you must have stolen my jewelry to pay for the meal, Zhu Furong said with certainty. Miss Pig, I really admire you. Your imagination is really too rich. How can you think of such a reason? Lung Ruoxue said with admiration on her face. There's no use flattering me. I won't be lenient with thieves, Zhu Furong said resolutely. Lung Ruoxue was speechless. Why are the comprehension abilities of the Zhu sisters so amazing? I really want to cut open Pig Furong's brain to see if it's full of grass. Miss Pig, are you going to convict us just because of your own imagination? Lung Ruoxue asked curiously. Of course not. I will make you convinced wholeheartedly, Zhu Furong said with incomparable confidence. Zhu Furong turned her head and ordered her subordinates, Zhu Kai, go up and search their room. Yes. A burly young man led a team straight to the 2nd floor upon receiving the order. Chapter 335. A Tour of the Prison, 5. The waiter blocked in front of Zhu Kai and the others and said loudly, Second Miss Zhu, you can't just enter our guest room. Zhu Furong kicked the waiter away and roared, How dare you? We're looking for evidence. Get lost. Miss, the waiter was a little worried. He looked at Lung Ruoxue and Freak, and his heart was burning with anxiety. Oh no, if they go to the 2nd floor, then this lady won't be able to clear her name even if she jumps into the Yellow River. But Lung Ruoxue and Freak were sitting at a table calmly, drinking tea and eating snacks, not at all worried. Not long later, Zhu Kai walked down from the 2nd floor with his people. Miss, I found your jewelry. Oomph. What else do you have to say now? Zhu Furong said proudly. We have nothing to say. What do you want? Well, do whatever you want, Long Ruoxue said lightly. She had been bored these past few days anyway. Since this woman wanted to play, she would play with Pig Furong. Come, take these two people away. Oh, right. Take those old men too, Zhu Furong ordered her subordinates. Miss, those old men are not in the room, Zhu Kai replied. Not here? Tell me, where did your accomplices go? Zhu Furong questioned loudly. Those old men also deserve to die. Long Ruoxue raised her eyebrows slightly and said calmly, I don't know. I'm not familiar with them. We just came together temporarily for convenience sake. Oomph. They escaped quickly. Take these two away first, Zhu Furong ordered. But she couldn't help admiring her foresight. Fortunately, she was fast enough. Otherwise, wouldn't these two people have escaped too? No need. We can walk by ourselves, Long Ruoxue said cooperatively. You better behave yourselves and not play any tricks, Zhu Furong warned. Don't worry. We will be good. Long Ruoxue nodded obediently. After leaving the inn, Long Ruoxue and Freak were brought to a prison in Windless City by Pig Furong. Wait, you have to lock us up together, Freak said with dissatisfaction when he saw two already prepared prison cells. No, I'm afraid you will run away, so I have to keep you two separate, Zhu Furong said with some jealousy. Damn it, does he like her that much? If you don't lock us up together, don't expect me to confess. Moreover, I will let everyone know that a daughter of the city lord's mansion is bullying others, Freak threatened. All right, they'll lock you up together then. Zhu Furong compromised. Damn it. If you don't admit to your crime and make everyone know about it, how can I threaten you? Long Ruoxue and Freak walked on their own into the prison cell happily and swaggeringly. Then they closed the cell door and ignored Pig Furong. Swear, this place is pretty clean. Moreover, we have a single room. It's really not bad, Freak said happily with an enchanting smile on his beautiful face. Yeah, much better than I imagined, Long Ruoxue said. By the way, Pig Furong, prepare more delicious food for us at noon and at night. There has to be meat. I'm not happy without meat, Freak ordered, basically treating Pig Furong as an attendant. Don't worry. I will definitely satisfy you too, Zhu Furong said resentfully through gritted teeth. Then she turned and left angrily. Swear, the annoying fly is finally gone. We can have some alone time now, Freak said affectionately with a mesmerizing smile on his lips. How can anyone spend quality alone time in a cell? Long Ruoxue said speechlessly. What other ways do we have? It's not like we don't have the conditions. So what if it's a cell? It's safe. Freak said nonchalantly. He didn't care where he was. As long as he could be with Schwer, it didn't matter even if he went up a mountain of blades or into a sea of flames. That's true. Master, then let me bully you in the cell. Long Ruoxue raised his enchantingly beautiful chin teasingly. Lass, you have to be gentle, Freak said shyly. Hee, Schwer, I really love you to death. Don't worry, they'll be gentle. Long Ruoxue began to stroke Freak. Oh, it feels really good, and his figure is good. It seemed that she was becoming more and more of a pervert. Schwer, is it nice to touch? Freak asked with a face full of smiles, his black eyes full of care. Yes, it feels good, Long Ruoxue said with satisfaction. Schwer, you've touched me. You have to be responsible for me, Freak said cunningly. Yes, don't worry. I will be responsible for you, Long Ruoxue said readily, while her soft little hand continued stroking Freak. Freak pouted his sexy lips and asked expectantly, Then when are you going to give me a title? Hee, you are a man. Which man wants a title from a woman? Long Ruoxue deliberately teased him. In fact, she had thought about it long ago, but she just didn't tell him. What's wrong with being a man? I'm in a disadvantaged group. I'm counting on your protection, Freak said pitifully, tears shining in his eyes, looking like he would cry if she didn't agree. Long Ruoxue sighed and said leisurely, But I'm also very weak now. Who will protect me? Me. They'll protect you. Well, protect each other. Freak immediately declared. Humph. Of course I have to protect my woman. Lung Ruashua snuggled in Freak's arms and said coquettishly, Yes, then you have to protect me. You have to believe me. Only I can protect you in this world, Freak said confidently. Okay. Freak, wait here. We'll tell Grandpa and the others so that they won't worry, Lung Ruashua said after some thought. Don't stay in there for too long. They'll miss you, Freak said softly, while looking at Lung Ruashua with affection in his eyes. Okay. Lung Ruashua hugged Freak's neck and kissed him lightly on the lips before entering the bracelet. Chapter 336. The Popular Prison, 1. Schwer, why did you run away so quickly? Freak looked at his empty arms and was depressed. In the bracelet, Schwer, what's happening outside? Lung Qingtian immediately asked when he saw his granddaughter enter. It's okay. It's just that Freak and I were locked up in a cell by Pig Furong, Lung Ruashua said nonchalantly. Oh, Schwer, you have to be careful. Lung Qingtian reminded her. Lass, bring me out to play. Old Zao said eagerly. He had already guessed that she wouldn't let that Pig Furong go, so he wanted to get involved. In fact, his main goal was to try his new equipment. No, Pig Furong will be suspicious if you go out. Lung Ruashua rejected Old Zao, who feared that the world wouldn't be in chaos. Lass, Old Zao cried with a pleading face. No means no. Stay inside obediently. He'll let you out when the time is ripe, Lung Ruashua coaxed. That's right, Old Zao. Don't add to the trouble. Lin Liang shook his head helplessly. Although there were too many old men, and they were sometimes too noisy, it was also more lively. All right then. But lass, let's make things clear first. If you kill, set fire, or do something bad, don't forget me. Old Zao reminded her very seriously. I won't forget you, Lung Ruashua said with a dark face. She couldn't help grumbling in her head. Damn old man, you make me sound like a robber. Am I that violent? I am a law-abiding good citizen. Then I'm relieved. Old Zao sighed in relief. Little girl, don't forget me if there's something fun. Old man said with dissatisfaction. Don't worry. All of you will have a share, Lung Ruashua promised. Schwer, you have to be careful outside with Yichon. Lung Qingtian reminded her worriedly. Okay, I will. I'm going out first. Lung Ruashua said, afraid that Pig Furong would come at any time. Okay, go. Lung Qingtian nodded. Lung Ruashua turned around, exited the bracelet, and reappeared in the cell. But she appeared in Freak's arms. Schwer, you're so passionate, Freak said happily while hugging the little beauty who took the initiative to deliver herself to him unceremoniously. Yes, of course, Lung Ruashua said cooperatively. You two are quite loving. At this moment, the voice of Pig Furong sounded from outside the cell. Pig Furong was raging with jealousy, and her eyes were shooting out flames as she glared at Lung Ruashua and Freak. We're husband and wife. Of course we're loving. Freak smiled smugly. Let's see how much longer you can be smug. Pig Furong said furiously. Don't they say that husband and wife are birds of the same forest that will fly away separately in the face of disaster? I want to see if their relationship is really that firm. There was no man who didn't like power and status, and she could give him all these. But what could that woman give him? Chapter 337. The Popular Prison, 2. Yes, I'm a little hungry. I wonder what delicious food Grandpa and the others have made? Lung Ruashua asked curiously. Then she sent her divine sense into the bracelet and took out a few dishes. Freak, eat quickly. They're all your favorite, Lung Ruashua urged. Schwer, feed me, okay? Freak requested while blinking his black and shiny eyes. Okay. Lung Ruashua picked up a piece of fresh fish meat with her chopsticks and sent it into Freak's waiting mouth. So fragrant, Freak said with satisfaction. The fish in space tasted really good. The fish melted in his mouth, fragrant and delicious. Moreover, Schwer was the one feeding him. Ah, so blissful. Schwer, I'll feed you too, Freak said. Just like this, the two of them took turns feeding each other one bite after another. The warm and sweet atmosphere lingered in the prison that didn't quite match it. After lunch, the two of them lay on the recliner in each other's arms and chatted. When they were sleepy, they fell asleep, and the afternoon quickly passed. At night, seems like you guys are pretty relaxed. The discordant voice sounded in the cell again. It's okay, but Miss Pig seems more relaxed. You're running to the prison countless times in a day, Lung Ruashua said lazily without even looking up. You, am not here for you. Zhu Furong suppressed her anger. Not me? Then who? Lung Ruashua pretended to be confused. I'm here to find him. I have something to tell him. Zhu Furong pointed at Freak. Damn it. I still don't know this man's name. I'm sorry, Miss Pig. I'm not familiar with you. There's nothing to talk to you about, Freak refused without giving her face. Did you forbid him from paying attention to me? Zhu Furong roared at Long Ruashua furiously, her heart almost on fire from jealousy. Miss Pig, who do you think you are? Does ignoring you make a difference to us? Lung Ruashua looked at Pig Furong mockingly as if she was looking at an idiot. Just you wait. I will make you regret it, Zhu Furong said fiercely and then left angrily. Freak, do you think Pig Furong came to the cell just to let us make her angry? Lung Ruashua really couldn't understand. Every time Pig Furong came to the prison, she would be driven away by anger. But she would actually come again not long later. What did she want? If she wanted to threaten Freak, then hurry up. She was getting a little impatient from waiting. Probably. Those city lord daughters and the like have many eccentricities. Freak said nonchalantly. Haha, maybe Pig Furong just wants to see you. Lung Ruashua said with a light smile. Hee, it's possible. I don't want to see her. She's so disgusting. Freak said disdainfully. Alas, how sad would Pig Furong be if she heard the person she liked say that? Lung Ruashua teased. Schwer, don't mention that disgusting woman. When should we take action? Freak asked curiously. Of course we have to wait for them to fall asleep. When doing bad things, the moon must be up, and it must be dark. Lung Ruashua said with a cunning smile. Hee, I will definitely give the city lord's mansion an unforgettable night. Yes, that makes sense. Let's sleep for a while first. After we wake up, we'll find trouble with them, Freak suggested. Okay. Lung Ruashua nodded, continued to nest in Freak's arms, and closed her eyes. Late at night, a masked man in black sneaked into the prison. How can you still sleep at a time like this? The man in black roared angrily as he looked at the two people sleeping in each other's arms on the recliner. Lung Ruashua and Freak slowly opened their eyes, looked at each other, and then said at the same time, What should we do then? Of course you have to think of a way to escape, the man in black said matter-of-factly. Escape? Where to? We're just a disadvantaged group. We can't afford to offend big shots, Lung Ruashua said pitifully with a long face. Didn't I come here to save you? Come with me quickly. The man in black slashed open the cell door. Who are you? Do we know you? Lung Ruashua asked in confusion. Of course we don't know each other. I just can't stand how the people from the city lord's mansion do whatever they want. This is why I came to save you, the man in black said anxiously. Oh, since we don't know each other, we can't implicate you. So we can't leave this place, Lung Ruashua said very seriously. It's okay. It's everyone's duty to help if they see injustice on the road, so you don't have to be polite with me. Come with me quickly, the man in black advised earnestly, his throat almost dry from persuading. Is that so? Then let us consider it. Lung Ruashua said perfunctorily, but she was sneering in her heart. Want us to escape from prison? We refuse to run. I want to see what other tricks that Pig Furong can think of. Stop thinking about it. Come with me quickly. Otherwise, if we're discovered later, none of us will be able to leave, the man in black urged. He looked at Lung Ruashua and Freak's calm and composed appearance, and his heart was burning with anxiety as he cursed in his head. Why are these two so difficult to deal with? Are they normal people? Normal people would leave without even thinking if they saw someone coming to save them. But these two people… It's okay. We're detained here anyway. Please go ahead if you have something urgent. Long Ruoshue said understandingly. Yes, that's right. We don't dare to delay your business, Freak echoed. But he was laughing on the inside. I came specially to save you. Are you willing to let me make a wasted trip? The man in black said without giving up. He couldn't return without any achievements. Otherwise, he would have no way of explaining when he returned. Mr. Hero, we didn't seem to have said anything about wanting you to save us. You can't push the blame onto us, Long Ruoshue said aggrievedly with tears in her beautiful eyes. Chapter 338. The Popular Prison. 3. Schwer, don't cry. Look at what you've done. You scared my woman to tears. Freak coaxed Long Ruoshue gently, and then roared fiercely at the man in black. His face changed so quickly that it was dizzying. The man in black was speechless and cursed in his head. Fuck, how can you treat your savior like this? Dear, I'm so scared. This uncle is too fierce. Long Ruoshue appeared so scared that she kept burrowing into Freak's arms, her face full of fear. Don't be afraid. I will protect you. Freak hugged Long Ruoshue tightly and comforted her. I'm not an uncle. The man in black couldn't take it anymore. Damn it, what kind of gaze is that? Am I that old? Then you are an old man? Long Ruoshue probed cautiously. I'm not an old man either. The man in black roared furiously. He was so angry that he had long forgotten that he was masked. Oh, so he's an oid fart who won't die, Long Ruoshue said in realization. The man in black felt that he would definitely vomit blood from anger by these two if he stayed in the prison any longer. Come with me quickly, the man in black ordered angrily. Long Ruoshue and Freak looked at each other and said in unison, No. Are you really not willing to leave with me? The man in black lost his patience. He really couldn't deal with these two people. Yes, we won't leave. Wasn't this place good? Someone would occasionally come to disturb them and let them play around. Don't regret it, the man in black roared angrily. He was about to turn and leave when Long Ruoshue stopped him. Old fart, wait. Long Ruoshue smiled and stopped the man in black who was about to leave. The man in black turned around and said with slight surprise, What? Have you changed your mind? No, old fart. You have to fix this cell door before you leave. Otherwise, we will be misunderstood as wanting to escape, Long Ruoshue said very seriously. Well done, the man in black said after thinking for a long time. You can only leave after the door is repaired. Long Ruoshue reminded the angry man in black again. Okay, wait. The man in black held back his anger, took out tools from his ring, and resigned himself to fixing the prison door. Boo-hoo. Why is my life so tough? These two people aren't normal at all. Old fart, you have a lot of tools, and your technique for repairing the door is very professional. Do you specialize in this field? Long Ruoshue praised while lying on the recliner with Freak, her head on her arm, her beautiful eyes staring at the man in black repairing the door. I'm not in this line of work. The man in black gritted his teeth and wanted to cry but had no tears. Boo-hoo. I'm so unlucky. If not for Miss Orders, I really want to kill these two people. But your technique is too professional. I think you will have a better future in this line of work, Long Ruoshue suggested. The words "I'm doing this for your own good" were written all over her beautiful face. Thank you for your reminder. I'll consider it. The man in black wiped the cold sweat off his head. Boo-hoo. I really want to kill someone to vent my anger now. Schwer, you're wrong. I think he's quite suitable to watch the prison, Freak concluded after watching for a long time. Dear, this doesn't conflict. Isn't it complimentary to watch the prison and repair the cell doors at the same time? It saves me from being bored. Lung Ruoxue suggested. Hee, my Shuer is still smart and thoughtful. I think he's good at fixing locks. He can also help others fix locks and add a key or something along the way. Freak and Long Ruoxue spoke as if no one was around. Soon, they helped the man in black decide his future career. You, both of you, shut up. Don't affect my work, the man in black roared angrily. He didn't realize that he had already been led into a trap by Long Ruoxue and Freak. Haha, I knew it. The old fart will definitely like this job. Lung Ruoxue smiled happily. Of course, this is collective wisdom. Freak said cooperatively. In fact, he had been laughing in his head. Hee, playing dumb and infuriating others to death feels really good. However, this man in black seemed to have strong mental fortitude. They had said so much for so long, but they still couldn't make this man in black vomit blood. Alas, there was really no sense of accomplishment. It seemed like they still needed to enhance their ability to anger others. The door and lock are fixed. I'm leaving. Then the man in black hurriedly ran away, as if he was afraid that the tiger behind would catch up if he ran too slowly. Don't you know how to lock the door? You're so irresponsible. Lung Ruoxue complained very unhappily as she looked at the open cell door. Shuer, give him another chance. Let's not stoop to his level, Freak comforted. Okay, they'll listen to you, Lung Ruoxue answered obediently. Then she leaned into Freak's arms. Seems like I was worried for nothing. You guys are quite carefree. A slightly teasing voice sounded in their ears. Lung Ruoxue looked up and saw the incomparably handsome Lan Ming in a white robe, standing outside the cell, looking at the two of them with a smile. What are you doing here? Lung Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. Would you believe me if I said I'm here to save you? Lan Ming asked with a smile. No, Lung Ruoxue said honestly. Why? Lan Ming asked curiously. Because you are too unprofessional. You are dressed in white. Do you want to save people or harm people? Lung Ruoxue said very directly. I like being different. I am me. Why should I be like others? Everyone wears black, but I insist on wearing white. Lan Ming said willfully. Goodbye, I won't see you out. Lung Ruoxue nodded indifferently. Chapter 339. The Popular Prison 4. Lan Ming was stunned. Did he hear it wrong? What he heard was, goodbye, I won't see you out. Why was his treatment worse than that of the man in black just now? They actually started chasing him away so quickly. Boo-hoo. He was depressed. Hey, why aren't you leaving yet? Freak urged Lan Ming when he saw him standing there motionlessly like a fool. Alas, Lan Ming, who was wallowing in self-pity, sighed after coming back to his senses. No wonder that man in black almost vomited blood from anger. These two fellows indeed had the capital to anger someone to death. In fact, he was only one step slower than the man in black just now. Therefore, he had hidden in the dark. When he saw the man in black almost vomiting blood from anger, he laughed in his heart. But now that it was his turn to be despised, he couldn't laugh anymore. I really came to save you, Lan Ming said helplessly. Alas, he could only accept it when he encountered these two troublesome people. Why? Lung Ruoxue asked in puzzlement. Because you're from my mystic association. Is there a need to ask? Lan Ming was depressed. These two people's thoughts were really, so what? We didn't say we wanted you to save us, Lung Ruoxue said ungratefully. I haven't had enough fun yet. How could I be saved? Then what was the point of playing? In being nosy, all right? Little ancestor. Lan Ming was speechless. He came to save them, but he was actually wrong. Boo-hoo, what was this? These two fellows were really difficult to deal with. Zhu Furong, who dared to provoke them, must have accumulated the bad luck of 8 lifetimes. It's good that you know. Lung Ruoxue nodded. How long do you intend to stay in the prison? Lan Ming asked curiously after understanding. I don't know. There's food and water here, and it saves money. It's much better than staying at an inn, Lung Ruoxue said honestly. Are you that poor? Lan Ming rolled his eyes in disdain. Yes, we have to think of a way to earn money. Long Ruoxue pretended to be pitiful. Have you thought of a way yet? Lan Ming asked curiously. Yes, they'll wait for the compensation from the city lord's mansion. They'll stay here and won't leave if I don't receive compensation, Long Ruoxue said very seriously. As the saying went, it was easy to invite a god but difficult to send one away. Okay, I support you, Lan Ming said very cooperatively as a few drops of cold sweat dripped down his forehead. He finally knew that he could provoke gods and ghosts, but never these two fellows, because they would definitely let the people who provoked them suffer a loss. Thank you, President, Long Ruoxue said with a smile. You're welcome. Just let me know if you need anything. After all, you are mystics from my association, Lan Ming said in a very friendly tone. Long Ruoxue became paranoid after hearing Lan Ming's words and asked bluntly, one who is unaccountably solicitous is hiding evil intentions. President Lan, why are you being so good to us? What goal can I have? You're registered in my association, so it's only right that I protect you. Lan Ming said matter-of-factly. President Lan, don't bother lying in front of us. We aren't 3-year-old children. Just say it directly. If it's not too difficult, we can consider it. But your remuneration has to satisfy me, Long Ruoxue said bluntly. Since you've mentioned it, I really have something. However, this has nothing to do with coming to save you. Lan Ming explained. He didn't want them to misunderstand that he wanted to save them to use them. It doesn't matter if it's related. As long as your remuneration satisfies me, and it's within my capabilities, doing it won't be a loss. Long Ruoxue said nonchalantly. After her brother and the others came out of seclusion, they would have to spend a lot more money, so she had to think of a way to earn more money. You don't have to worry about the remuneration. The last thing our mystic association needs is money, Lan Ming said. Alas, this was the first time he had seen a mystic like Long Ruoxue who lacked money. That's good. President Lan, what do you want us to do? Long Ruoxue asked curiously. There will be a competition between mystics in a month. I hope you can participate on behalf of the Windless City's Mystic Association, Lan Ming explained. The rewards for the competition are very generous, he added. Oh, what are the rewards? Long Ruoxue asked with interest. If the rewards were good, she would definitely participate. If not, then the remuneration would have to be generous. Otherwise, she wouldn't help. First place will receive a reward of 100 million purple coins and a physical reward. It will definitely satisfy you. Lan Ming knew what this little woman wanted, so he didn't beat around the bush. 100 million? The Mystic Association is indeed very rich. Long Ruoxue praised. Well, I have to participate in this competition, but I'm only at the mystic level. What are my chances of winning if I participate in the competition? Long Ruoxue continued asking. Don't worry. This competition only allows elementary mystics and below to participate. This is a competition to select talents for the Mystic Association, so the level of the mystics participating won't be too high. With your strength, it won't be a problem for you to be in the top 3, Lan Ming said confidently. President Lan, we are only mystics, but there are elementary mystics in the competition. So I'm really curious where your confidence comes from. Long Ruoxue couldn't help asking. I've seen many mystics, but this is the first time I've seen someone as abnormal as you, Lan Ming said honestly. He had been thinking about this issue for the past few days, but he couldn't understand how someone with such abnormal talent could exist in the world. Thank you for the compliment. In fact, we're pretty average, Long Ruoxue said very modestly. Lan Ming was speechless again. If you're ordinary, then what are others? Should they just die? Lan Ming calmed down and continued. By the way, what about your grandfather? You'll need at least 5 people to participate in the competition, so they need to participate too. Chapter 340. The Popular Prison, 5. I hid them in a safe place, Long Ruoxue said mysteriously. That's good. Lan Ming was relieved. President Lan, let's talk about our remuneration now. Lung Ruoxue suggested. I want to treat you badly. Why are you in such a hurry? Lan Ming said with a face full of black lines. Alas, you're a full man who doesn't know the hunger of a hungry man. How can a rich person like you understand the pain of us poor people? Lung Ruoxue sighed with emotion from being poor. Isn't that too exaggerated? Lan Ming really didn't know what to say. I'm not exaggerating. We're really running out of money, Lung Ruoxue said seriously. You can calculate it yourself. We spent 500 purple coins on spiritual power conversion in your association. We've spent almost 2,000 purple coins from lodging, meals, and the city entrance fees over the past few days. That's 2,000 purple coins. It should be enough for ordinary people to live for several years, right? Lung Ruoxue said while counting seriously with her fingers. They had only been on the boundless heaven continent for a week, but Lung Ruoxue could feel the pinch from the expensive cost of living here. When she was on the Lingfeng continent, she had never been short of money. But after she arrived here, she found that the amethyst coins she brought from the Lingfeng continent were flowing like water, and there were so few of them now. Alas, money. She needed to earn money. All right, forget it. 10 million purple coins per person. That should be enough, right? Lan Ming interrupted Lung Ruoxue. No, Lung Ruoxue refused directly. My little ancestor, 10 million isn't a small sum. What else do you want? Lan Ming said weakly. Why is this girl so difficult to deal with? In the future, you are not allowed to charge my people for going to your guild to convert spiritual power. Moreover, you have to cover food and lodging from now until the competition ends. Lung Ruoxue raised her conditions. That's not a problem. But you still have other people? Lan Ming couldn't help asking. Yes, but they can't convert their spiritual power yet, so don't have any ideas about them, Lung Ruoxue said understandingly. Oh, I'll arrange a place for you to stay after you leave the prison, Lan Ming said with some disappointment. Then it's settled. President Lan, you can go back now. Lung Ruoxue began to chase him away after the discussion was over. You're so pragmatic. Then I'm leaving. Be careful. The Zhu family can do anything, Lan Ming reminded before leaving. Okay, got it. Lung Ruoxue nodded. Schwer, what should we do now? Freak asked curiously after Lan Ming left. Wait and see. I wonder if anyone else will come? Lung Ruoxue guessed. Probably not. We don't know many people here, Freak said with certainty. In that case, let's go to the City Lord's mansion for a night tour. Lung Ruoxue suggested, her eyes shining with a mischievous light. Okay, let's go now. Freak said impatiently. Hee, causing trouble is the most enjoyable thing. Let's go. Lung Ruoxue nodded. They left the cell quietly under the cover of night. Freak, I just remembered something, Lung Ruoxue suddenly said on the street after leaving the prison. What's the matter? Freak asked in puzzlement. We don't know the location of the City Lord's mansion, Lung Ruoxue said gloomily. Pig Furong didn't imprison them in the City Lord's mansion, but locked them in a prison in Windless City because she was afraid of being blamed by her father. Did you forget that we have a map? Hee. Freak reminded. Oh, I forgot about the map. Thanks to Freak's reminder, Lung Ruoxue remembered the map and took it out of the bracelet. Schwer, this is the City Lord's mansion, right? Freak pointed at a very conspicuous red on the map. Yes, it doesn't seem too far away. Freak, let's go. Lung Ruoxue said. Okay. The two of them followed the directions on the map and quickly found the City Lord's mansion. There were 2 guards guarding the front door of the City Lord's mansion, so they turned to the back door. The back door was very small, and only one person could pass at a time. Moreover, not only was the back door not guarded, but it wasn't even locked, showing how arrogant this City Lord was. Schwer, this City Lord's mansion is quite luxurious. It's not inferior to an imperial palace. Freak sighed while standing outside the tall courtyard walls of the City Lord's mansion. Yes, and this is only the City Lord's mansion of a small city. Freak, looks like this City Lord is very rich. Lung Ruoxue's beautiful eyes glittered with interest. Schwer, we will be the rich ones if we rob him, Freak said evilly. Yes, that's what I was thinking too. The city lord's mansion of such a small city is actually living in such luxury. I really don't know how much of the people's hard-earned money he has embezzled. Freak, let's rob the rich to help the poor today. Lung Ruoxue said righteously. Of course, the poor referred to them. Yes, we must rob the rich to support the poor, that is us. Freak nodded heavily in agreement. Freak, let's go in. Lung Ruoxue said. Okay, Freak answered, and they sneaked into the city lord's mansion through the back door. After entering the city lord's mansion, Long Ruoxue found a hidden and uninhabited corner and moved her grandfather and the others, who were already waiting impatiently, out of the bracelet. Her cute beasts also came out together. Of course, her beasts were all transformed. Otherwise, the city lord's mansion likely wouldn't be able to hold them. Fengzhan, Charm, you have to take these beasts with you and be careful, Lung Ruoxue reminded. Although there were not many powerful experts in the city lord's mansion, it was still better to be careful. You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.